going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I am your host, Nick, joined by the household. I hope you all are having a fantastic Tuesday morning. We are happy to be with you. Lots to get into. Should we just talk about it?
We should just talk about it.
We should just talk about it briefly. I know, we don't get into politics, obviously. We try to keep this light and feathery because the world is burning around us and there's so many other shows to burn with the world that we just want to keep it light and feathery. But, sometimes once in a while things happen. I think we can't not pretend it happened. And it was a sad day for America, for everyone. I hope we can all agree about that. I don't know. I hope we can all agree that we need to come together. Some people in my comments disagree. What are you going to do? Anyone feeling anything? Anyone want to say anything? I think the obvious... I hope it's the obvious thing that needs to be said is I hope we can come together. I don't know.
I don't think anybody deserves to be murdered ever.
God, why? And I feel like even now you're saying that with a little bit of I hope it's okay for me to say.
It's sad that we live in a world that is
crazy.
What it is.
It's just this is not the time for... there's still the finger pointing. It's time to cool things off, and now the radicals on both sides are all but you said it first. And it's just someone's got to be the bigger person. Mm-hmm. We'll try.
And somebody died. Somebody died.
Yes.
Too.
I think behind
a former firefighter.
Yeah, I think behind all of the politics, how you feel, what side you're on at the end of the day, Donald Trump is a father. And he is a husband, and he is a human being. A human being,
despite what some of you say.
And to want death upon someone is really, really sad. And I hope that this might have been a harsh reality that
it's a scary world. We're scared for our daughter's future. We're going to try to come together. In the words of President Obama, who spoke with us, Nally and I, and a group of people a couple weeks ago, and he spoke about this very thing, and he said, all you can do is vote. It's now more important than ever to get out and vote and use your democratic right to get out there and your friends and all the people you want, rally the troops, get them out to vote. And it's never been more important to use your power, which is to vote, and do that. And that's what's really important. And if you are upset with whatever is going out, vote, be involved, get out there.
Vote and don't try to kill anyone.
Yeah, and stop with the hysteria. And the doomsday rhetoric, again, from both people. It's it's not just one, it's everybody. You all did it first. We're all guilty, all of us. And we got to look in the mirror and recognize what we could do better, not what the other side should be doing differently. We all got to look at what we can do, and that's the only way. The truth is, the end of every great civilization in the United States, I like to think, is a great thing, a great civilization. It all ended because of fighting within the group. Mm-hmm. That's how America will come to an end, because we can't get along. Because I feel like we're at the end of a Quentin Tarantino movie. I'm a big Quentin Tarantino fan, like his films, and if you watch his films, there's always at the end a face-off. Everyone's pointing their guns at each other, and no one wants to die, but everyone's afraid of dying. There's always some person at the end who has an itchy trigger finger, and they shoot the gun, or they wink funny, or whatever, and then everyone dies. And no one wants to die, but we're all too afraid of being the one who gets killed by the other radical side, and so we all just shoot each other, and that's kind of where we're at, and we need to put the guns down. We need to hug thy neighbor. I know, you all probably want me to shut the fuck up and talk about, what the fuck, Aaron is 27 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, that is nuts. He talks like a child.
We're going to get into that later. We also have Liv on this episode. We have your Bachelor fan favorite, Brett. I mean, some of you are all fans. I like the guy. We don't know much about him. We want to figure out if he's worthy of such praise. He is with us today as well. But I think really the breaking news today is we found out over the weekend that Aaron just turned 27. And Aaron's first time on reality TV was Traitors over in the UK.
And he won the season.
And I think that matters. And I think he is the villain of Love Island USA. I really do. Yeah.
I think influencers talking about teeth whitening is a cult.
Oh, go on.
Say more.
Have you seen
We're already off script.
Yeah, sorry. I saw this morning and I was like, this is not fucking real. They post like a little screenshot of a DM or something and it's like, what teeth whitener do you use? And they link it. And it's like, why has no one asked me that? Do I have yellow teeth? Like, does no one want to know like what I'm using on my teeth?
Why has no one asked me? I think I have yellow teeth.
They sent the DM to themselves so they could
Aw.
screenshot it.
What's going on?
So these influencers, they'll either just like randomly post a little text box of like, what teeth whitener do you use? And they'll like post a link to it, or they'll do an ask me anything. And it's like they answer 2 questions and then, oh, what teeth whitener do you use? And then the ask me anything's done.
You're not
No,
wrong.
they get a friend to do it.
So it's a cult.
Is it the same
But
brand?
I'm confused. Why?
Yes.
It's
Cult.
the purple one, right? The purple toothpaste.
Or
Is
the
it a-
black one. There's a black one.
Is it
too.
some sort
Oh.
of pyramid scheme?
No, it's like strips. Like not
seen
the
the purple
crest whitening
toothpaste.
strips. It's like
The natural, like organic ones.
Yeah, something
So
like
who's
that.
asking the question? What teeth whitener do you
No
use?
one knows
No
because
one.
it's just a tiny screenshot of the. So they could have
They
asked
asked
themselves.
themselves.
Sure.
This is the same thing as the brand owners that go into like Walmart and then they find a customer that's holding their product and they're like, oh my God, can you tell me
Love.
about that? And then they say, oh, I love it. It saved my life. And they're like, well, I'm going to buy it for you today. And then they're like,
Oh my God, I've never heard of
but it's this
that.
whole scam of like portraying the brand as like a question, right?
Yeah, I guess. Oh my gosh.
Why
want
was
so-
this triggering for you this morning?
Because I just like I've seen enough of them. I've
Agreed.
seen so many of them to the point where I'm like, all right, someone's got to come out and say the truth. What's happening? Is this the brand paying you? And they're like, when you do an Ask Me Anything, it's got to be 3rd slide and then you're done.
Natalie's gonna get a teeth whitening
And
sponsorship
y'all
out
better
of
not
this
say
episode.
shit. Y'all better click my link. And y'all better not say shit because I'm trying to afford our dream house that is
Oh.
currently going to be off the market. Okay. move on.
You do have nice white teeth. What do you use?
I'll send you the link.
Okay. Thanks.
Actually, I'll post it on my story later.
I'll post it on my story and you can click it. No, I just brushed my teeth. I probably should use more whitening stuff. But yeah, so moving on.
I will say on a sad note, this weekend we had a couple of celebrity deaths.
We did.
Richard Simmons.
Sweat into the oldies.
I took a
Yeah.
class with him once.
You met him?
That's
Yeah, I
cool.
took one of his fitness classes.
No way.
I did. I
How?
did,
What
when
was
I
that
was
like?
young.
How old were you? Tell me.
I
I have
was
so many questions.
The youngest person in the class by far. I was like,
Were you a participant or did you go with
yeah,
mom?
I went with my best friend and our moms.
How old were
Aw.
you?
High school, like 13, 14 maybe.
And this was like an aerobic step up class?
Yeah,
Like,
it was like a dance
his
class.
energy
unmatched.
was unmatched.
Yeah.
I just remember him going like, and the rainbow.
Yeah.
and
He was
rainbow."
great. And everyone in the class was like at least
Yeah.
twice my age. And I was
He just was just like a special like, hey, I'm just gonna do this for fun because like he's been a major celebrity for a long time. He would just do pop up
Yeah.
sweat into the
Little
oldies.
workout
Did he
classes.
invent sweat into the oldies? Was that his
Yes.
thing?
He had the tapes. I did them with my mom when I was little.
I feel like there's no one like that today.
No.
No, not with someone with such joy. We need. It's not. I don't think. Unfortunately, a sad coincidence. Over the weekend, we had such a terrible, dark weekend for all of us, and we lost a beam of light. He was a beam of light. He was just like,
This
yeah, it
bedazzled
was a lot.
shorts.
The class was a lot of fun.
you know, like
Aw.
like this like the joy and the cheer and like pour one out for
Richard Simmons.
And
Richard
Shelley
Simmons.
Duvall.
Shelley Duvall.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even realize Shelley Duvall passed.
Mhm.
She did, yeah. The Shining.
Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth passed,
Yes.
Oh my
Olive
God.
oil.
and Shannon Doherty.
And yeah.
Yeah.
Really sad.
Really sad weekend.
Really sad. We were going to have the opportunity to interview Shannon about a month ago, and unfortunately, obviously, her health took a turn, and that was really just.
Her health took precedent.
She was an icon.
Yeah, she was pretty
90210. 90210 was between Luke Perry and Shannon Doherty were the two biggest stars,
Yeah.
right? Of the original 90210.
And Jason Priestley.
I feel like Jason Priestley was like right below.
Right under.
I mean, especially
Luke
Luke was definitely
Perry.
the most famous guy.
Yeah.
You know. And then Jason was like, you know, Chandler, and Luke was Joey, but like not dumb.
Still hot.
Luke was so hot.
You know, we need Elizabeth Wagmeister to break down this Alec Baldwin Rust trial because I'm so confused.
We could probably call
And
her.
why he's been like this is like his 3rd time in court for the same charge. I don't
I don't
really
think he's going
understand.
back. He's finally
No,
a
it's
free
done.
man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dismissed.
It seems like what happened is that the prosecution was trying to make it more of a political thing. Well, you run for office to be a district attorney, right? So it's a political position. You need votes, and oftentimes when it comes to district attorneys, the bigger the case, the more press they will get, the more of a name they'll make for themselves. And it seems like that's what they were trying to do with this case with Alec Baldwin. Whatever you think of Alec Baldwin, I mean, it did seem like these charges filed against him were, how is this his fault? I mean, as an actor.
This is the criminal side of it, at least. So not the civil side of the suit, but yeah.
And I never felt like he should have been facing criminal charges. If you give an actor a prop, they assume it's a prop.
And that's what's dismissed as the criminal charges. The civil was he paid out the family.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can sue anyone for anything from a civil standpoint.
It's a tricky situation from the start because like someone lost their life, but also like it wasn't necessarily his fault.
Yeah, just because
there's no intent.
Yeah, just because it's terrible that someone lost their life. It doesn't mean you don't go after the most famous person just because. And just whatever you think of Alec Baldwin doesn't make him guilty of a terrible thing.
Yeah.
So I'm and honestly, now he can film his reality TV show in peace, which I am excited to watch.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. How have we forgotten about that?
No, well,
why am I the only ones like super excited about this?
It went away from like the top of my mind.
Yeah. I've said it
was in the
before.
middle.
I don't need another John and K +8.
Why will it just be John and K +8? John and K +8 came on the scene. They were nobodies. They obviously had like quadruplets or whatever it's called. They were famous because they had 8 kids at once, and that was crazy. This is Alec Baldwin, one of the most famous actors of our generation, who's married to someone who fakes an accent. And then
I would watch Hilaria on like a Real Housewives.
That's
I think
what I'm
that
saying.
would be great.
Oh yeah,
but this could be some version of that.
Yeah, but this is them as like parents, and I'm like, I don't need to see you raise 8 different children, because every episode is gonna be the children screaming, and then them driving them to like a practice.
Maybe
or
you're right.
Friends.
Oh my god, my life's so hard. Cucumber, who wants a snack?
Cucumber.
You're right. I guess I'm not interested in like the morning routine.
Yeah, I want to see you guys going out to events and like.
But do you think they'll bring in drama? They have to.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they have to bring in drama.
Which doesn't make why.
I feel like there's just so many things where I'm like, he's not going to say it. Like, where I'm just like, she starts speaking an accent, he's not going to be like, where are you from? Like, that's what we would want to know.
Do you think she'll still do that?
She did it in the commercial, right?
She does it.
That's why we need her on Housewives, because someone else would call it out.
I mean, they called
they would.
You're from Connecticut.
I was like, yeah.
No, when these people are doing accents, like sometimes Nellie's good at accents, Are you good at accents, Sierra?
Yeah, sometimes I bust them out, especially when I'm drunk.
I like to consider myself bilingual.
I like Russian.
Well, say something like that, you're going to get yourself in trouble.
No. Just like I'm bilingual in
accents.
What's by accent?
I don't know if there's a term for it.
By
talented.
Yeah, maybe there is. Just
if Hilaria is having fun, is it her name Hilaria?
Hilaria.
I thought it was Hilaria.
That's hilarious.
Hilaria?
I
could believe that.
That's what I thought. But
Sierra does have a point though, because Dorit on Beverly Hills Housewives, like she got clocked so many times for her fake accent.
Because she's a woman of the world.
But that was her fake accent came from like, I'm worldly, I'm from like London.
My husband's from the UK,
but
we
wait, hold on,
Dorit's
not from.
But like, if you were to hang out
America
with Nell and I long enough,
yeah,
we had some friends over for the weekend. The lovely ladies who designed her wedding dress.
They're just my friends now.
Either way, we had some friends over, and we goofed around. And throughout the day, some accents were thrown out.
That's different.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
And what I'm saying is, if you were to like, let's say we invited some other people, let's say a friend of a friend came. They would hear multiple accents. And I guess if they didn't know Natalie or her friends, I guess my question is like, it's not a crime to like throw out an accent.
The difference is when somebody asks you where you're from, that you disclose you're not from Australia. You're not from whatever accent you're pretending to do.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I could speak in any accent, but if somebody's like, are you from Germany? And I was like, yeah, like, no.
I remember one time in college, I went out with one of my girlfriends and we like met up with this new group of people. And I don't know what was going through my head, but when they asked where I was from, I all of a sudden said I was from England and had an accent. Because I thought we were just going to like hang out for 3 seconds. And I was like, let's pretend to be someone else for a sec. And then we got stuck the whole night. And I had to stick to the bit.
And they believed you. Give me your English accent.
Oh no. That's Australian. That's Australian. What do you want me to say?
You went a whole night. I need an accent.
That is talented.
I was also drunk.
Order a drink at a bar.
Can I please have? No, I can't do it on the spot. I can't do it on the spot. No.
To be fair, they were also probably drunk. So anything you said could have been like British.
Were your friends like,
It
bitch,
felt good.
give it the fuck up. You've got to shut up.
No, they were like, fuck, now we need to like go on with it and
They're
pretend
like,
that you're
we
from
visited
England.
her
Yeah.
a few times summers ago. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, the whole night was just a complete like
lie.
scrambling around to figure out like what our lives were.
That's kind of fun to
How's-
just like cosplay someone
How's the
else.
pregnancy going?
It's good.
Leia's
It's good.
days away. Weeks?
Days away.
Days.
I don't know. My doctor, I packed my bag.
Your bag is packed.
My bag
What
is
did you
packed.
pack? Why didn't you
I-
ask me?
I,
Why didn't you ask me anything?
I actually was gonna text you, but I knew I was gonna see you today. I just packed like clothes and baby things, diapers,
You don't need any of that shit.
slippers. You don't need any of it?
No.
Oh, great.
I packed so much for my hospital bag because you see all these videos, you see these. It's like, pack my hospital bag with me. You're gonna need so much shit. First of all, I did not shower in the hospital because that shower was really scary. And like I wanted my first shower to be like with my products and the like my shower at home.
Any shower with like a arm bar,
Mm-hmm.
which
Your
I
pull-down
understand is
bench.
necessary in the hospital. But it takes away from the comfort. It
The
has
spa
it gives it a cold.
Mhm.
It's the yellow
Sterile.
curtain
It
for
gives
me.
it a sterile
It's the
feel.
curt. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So
Like if you need to, yeah, I get it. But if you don't have to,
I would say the things that like were necessity for me were my own blanket, my
Okay.
own pillow.
don't forget the pillow.
I was gonna say the
Don't
pillow is what I know.
fucking forget the pillow.
So far, I'm 0 for 2. Okay.
Oh my god.
Continue.
Okay. A fan that you will use it again for like a stroller fan, but you can wrap it on like the arm of the hospital bed.
Okay.
Crucial.
Oh, for
need.
3?
Oh my
You're
god.
gonna get hot.
You can borrow ours.
Okay.
Okay, it's fine. Stuff for the baby. The only thing you need is their going home outfit because the entire time they have like stuff on them to like to like identify who they are. So like you can't really put your own onesies on them and stuff because you can't put it over the ankle bracelets, you know?
Okay.
They're swaddled
Okay.
basically the whole time. Right?
Well, sure, yeah, that too.
But they're naked and swaddled. They don't put them in pajamas.
No,
do
I
they?
know, but I'm saying if you like, I brought a bunch of little outfits for River, but she has these like bracelets on her ankle, so I couldn't put anything on her because they have to be able to see that. My own clothes, I brought a robe, which I feel like I stayed in the gown for majority of the time because you're like, you know, bleeding and you know, like I don't want to get my own stuff,
Right.
you know, like I'll just get this. This gown's a lot easier.
Are you epiduraling it?
Oh,
Epiduraling?
yes.
Okay.
Are you getting induced?
I am, but it's likely I'll go before then, according to my doctor. My baby is huge.
Really?
Yes, like
That's what-
already 8 pounds.
That's what they said about River, and she was not 8 pounds.
I
How
really
many weeks
hope
are
that.
you?
37.
I got induced at 38.
Yeah. My best friend actually had her baby this morning, though.
Really?
Yeah,
Congratulations to your
4:30 in
friend.
the morning. Yeah.
At any point, again, you don't need my advice, but when they say whenever you want that epidural, you say now.
Right now
Wait, have you gotten your cervix checked yet?
on Thursday.
Oh, on Thursday.
hmm Here we go.
How you feeling, Sierra?
Leave me out of this one.
Does
I'm
the
ready.
baby talk make you nerve?
I feel nothing.
The quiz?
I feel nothing. I feel nothing.
I
Have
feel
you had
nothing.
any? And you can tell me to shut the fuck up and mind my own business. But have you had any anal spasms yet?
No, I
Oh.
haven't. And I remember
know.
you talking about yours, and I've been waiting for that day.
Ah.
I've been waiting. Don't wait. Don't wait.
I think I
Relax.
was sitting in this chair when I got a call from Natalie,
You probably were.
Really?
and she sounded like something was very wrong.
Oh,
Something
my God.
was very wrong.
Oh.
I feel like your anal should not spasm.
Oh,
River said-
man.
River.
Then I got another text.
Grab me by the fucking
I was like,
throat.
call your doctor. She's like, something's wrong. I don't know what's on. Call your doctor. And then a couple texts later, it's like, oh, it's anal spasms. And honestly, I was like, thank God.
And you were just sitting here, like, keeping your composure, like,
I mean, you get to a certain point where all you care about is her and your baby's well-being, and you're happy that, you know, your soon-to-be wife's asshole is just spasming.
The baby's not falling out through it.
It took me to the ground.
You know,
Oh.
weird
I can't
times. But
imagine.
speaking of pregnancy,
Gypsy Rose.
Yes,
Gypsy
Gypsy.
Rose is pregnant, continues to be so.
Continue.
That's a way to say it.
With Ken. We're pretty sure. So is Ryan. Ryan is also pretty sure as well. Ryan says, guys, I don't know if she's pregnant or if the baby is his. I hope that's not true. But if it is, I can't do anything about it. Well, he hopes what's not true.
That the baby's his.
Well, it was kind of open-ended that either the baby is like that she's pregnant or that the baby's his.
I mean, listen, he is right. He has the right to feel a certain way about this experience. I feel like at this point, short of doing the same thing again, I have unlimited empathy for Gypsy, kind of. Right? Other than, you know what I'm saying? Like, she deserves some grace. You know,
Yeah, she
just
does.
got out of prison. She doesn't know what it's like to be an adult in society. She was given no rights as a human being. Her mom took that away. Prison was more freedom than anything else. She's gonna fuck up a little bit. She's gonna get messy. I think she's allowed.
I will say she's found herself in a messy predicament. So there's TikTokers pointing this out right now. Specifically, Tiny Sparks Vixen on TikTok posted saying that in Louisiana, you can't divorce while pregnant.
You can or can't?
You can't. You can't divorce while pregnant.
Oh,
and
Louisiana got some. Those southern states have some old school rules that have not been updated.
This is the crazy part. Whoever you're legally married to becomes the father on the birth certificate. So because she's married to Ryan,
no matter what, or can you contest?
No
matter what, and because she's married to Ryan, but she's having the baby with Ken, Ryan is the one that gets on the birth certificate.
And so then she's going to have to go through DNA testing to prove that it's Ken's baby to be able to get Ryan's name taken off the birth certificate.
Yeah.
Paperwork.
But honestly, if she's like, that's just too much. Like, we're fine. Like, we don't need that poor child. She's gonna have to be like, okay, so this is what happened.
She could also be like, okay, so Lifetime. Here we go. Episode 1.
Yeah.
That's kind of effective, though.
Literally before, during, and after.
No, that's
yeah,
so
it's
true.
going to be season 2.
Yeah.
Did we see her on Keeping Up?
Yes.
With the Kardashians.
Yes. So she was on Keeping Up with the Kardashians this week.
It was kind of a nothing burger.
It was awkward. I'm sorry.
I was so excited.
Me too.
And then it was just kind of, not much there.
But imagine how cool that was for Gypsy.
Oh, so cool. Yeah.
It's like, do you remember when Addison Rae was hanging out with Kourtney Kardashian and we were all like, what the fuck? They're like best friends.
Gypsy's first year out of prison, it's like gets highlights, meets a Kardashian, goes on a press tour, has a baby. Like, it's like literally the first
Do you
year.
think she's communicating with Kim? Do you think they have text messages? Do you think they're in
sure
contact?
now.
Who do you think Gypsy reached out to tell people she was pregnant?
I feel
like it was Lifetime.
I think Chris reached out to them.
You think?
Yeah.
I feel like
Chris the momager?
I feel like it'd be Kim because Kim's all into like the legal.
Yeah, but once they met, like, do you think they
like who stays in contact?
But yeah, I wonder if they keep in contact.
Brittany Mahomes is also pregnant.
Congratulations.
Baby number 3.
Congratulations with baby number 3.
Love that for them.
And Redbox DVD kiosk rentals are officially shutting down.
This is kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah, I didn't know they were still in business. I thought they were just I thought the boxes, when you move into a house sometimes, like I've done this before, like I probably would still do it if you weren't like living with me and my wife, but like there was always like a box or two that we would just like the junk box. And you just like throw it in a corner. You forget it was there until you'd move again, like
you have
a year
a point,
or two later.
Because then the junk box becomes decoration.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, it's just a box. And I just thought the red boxes I still saw at like gas stations and grocery store across this great land were just like
national monuments.
They no longer worked because no one had a DVD player, but they just like forgot to take them out, and they were just there as like an old payphone, that was like there as like a more of a historical piece. That's kind of what
like
I thought they were.
Yeah. People are like,
yes,
next to my Redbox.
Yes, remember that? It's crazy. But also, what's even more crazy is I didn't realize that Redbox was owned by the good people who, made Chicken Soup for the Soul.
That's actually so wild to me, and I had no idea. I don't understand the correlation.
What was Chicken Soup for the Soul? I just know it was a big thing.
It was like self-help books for kids, but it was like real kids would write in, or adults, there was ones for adults too, but people would write in and they would make a compilation of books based off of themes of like love, friendship.
Like self-help, right?
Yeah, but it's like us figuring out who we are as people and feeling like we can relate to other people in the world. It was actually cute.
They were doing way too much with those books because my mom was a psychologist and she had like 50 copies, but each copy was different.
The easiest thing was to rent a movie from Redbox, and the hardest thing was to return the movie to Redbox.
Hardest thing. Yeah, remember back in the day where people, like there was always like a news story where someone owes like $4,000 for unreturned video because they would charge you whatever, $5 a day or something like that. And then finally Blockbuster was like, that's nuts. We'll just charge you for the cost of the movie.
Makes way more sense.
Yeah, but but back in the day when I used to go to Value Video and they only had one copy of, say, Father of the Bride.
Value Video.
Value Video.
Valley Video.
This was a Midwest thing though, no?
I think
right?
he's saying value.
Only
video.
in the
Are you saying
Midwest?
value or valley?
Well, there's
Value.
probably both. We had a
Oh.
value video.
Value
VV.
video.
Did you have Blockbuster as well?
Sure, but before Blockbuster and Hollywood Video
before
really.
Blockbuster?
Yeah, sorry. Before Blockbuster became
I'm
like
like-
a thing. But some people remember, and they had like one copy or maybe two of the new releases, and you'd have to show up every day or call in, and then you'd have to like be like, hey, but like, can you go look in the return box? And when it was in the return box, it was the greatest fucking day of all time because it was like destiny lined up.
It was meant
And
for
it was
you.
your day to watch Father of the Bride Part 2 or whatever it was. And then finally, Blockbuster was like, no, like this is childish. We're just going to get like, 50 copies of the new releases or whatever.
This is like renting a movie at a hotel.
I mean, like, I kind of miss those days. Like,
Dude.
if you don't know the charm that is on a Saturday night to be like, you know what, should we just like
Let's
rent a movie?
rent a movie.
And you go to the grocery store, maybe get a snack, maybe you just get like, I don't know what it is, like a Panera bread bowl or something. I don't know, your favorite candy, and you'd peruse around
Bread bowl.
Blockbuster for a good 20 minutes, and you would decide on a movie.
If 2 + 2 = 4.
The Red Bull is your candy. Noted.
Yeah,
Have you ever had a bread
Do you
bowl?
even know what I'm talking about? You don't even know what I'm
Yes. No,
talking
we
about.
did that. We had Blockbuster as a
Blockbuster,
kid.
yeah.
same, yeah. I
We
love
had Blockbuster, and I remember Redbox, and I remember Netflix that's when you had to
Yes.
order
Physical
movies from
movies.
Netflix.
Netflix was DVD only.
Only. I remember all of that.
Wait, I will say people don't rent movies at hotels, do they? Like, I thought that was just for pornos.
No,
my God.
no.
Like, I thought that's all
you
you
would
rented.
go to
That
a
still
hotel
happens.
and
They
you would
still do
rent
that.
a
That still
movie.
happen. You see Mario Lopez being like in this series of like what like
No, I've bitched about this before, but hotels not having Netflix, Hulu, why don't we have all the apps? Like, I don't want to scroll the guide. And Nick's like,
The
this is the
guide.
best part about staying in a hotel is you watch these old movies
With
on-
commercials.
with commercials.
yeah.
And you have to start midway through
I think you
because
have
it's
to
like
system.
I honestly miss that. I miss like doing like some like chores, vacuuming the carpet and turning on TNT, and then Shawshank Redemption or The Fugitive is on, and
and it's
like
playing every
yeah, and it's like right in the middle,
on
and
loop.
like you finish wherever you start, and like there was something about the movie being on TV. You go on Netflix and you're scrolling and you're, what do I watch? I don't know. You have these unlimited options. What do I watch? And you see The Fugitive, like, fuck that, or whatever. Shawshank Redemption, I've seen that before. But when you would turn on the TV and it was on TV, there would be something about, ooh, The Fugitive is on, or whatever.
Yeah.
Or it's just like Legally Blonde, or whatever your rewatchable is, your favorite movie. It was like, oh shit, and you would have to finish it.
you know what you do is you start it in the middle because you have to start it at whatever time you turn on
Yeah.
the TV. And then it plays again right after.
And
And
you
so
keep
you just
going.
watch the beginning.
No, see, y'all are crazy. I'm with Natalie on this one. Like, I think you hacked the system. Hotels should have streaming.
They definitely should.
A lot of them
But
do.
I do agree. But no, the streaming in
them.
hotels is like you have to
Comcast.
do it
Get
to your
the
phone.
app.
Yeah.
like,
It's super
do the-
annoying, yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
It's an
but-
extra step.
But I also don't want to sign in to all of my stuff on hotel because I won't sign out.
I think it signs you out when you check
Really?
out. Mm-hmm.
You think,
Oh.
but you don't know.
Sometimes in
hotel?
Airbnbs, though, they don't sign out. And it's like,
Mm.
thank you, Ashley. Thank you so much.
You can also log out online from any device.
Well, speaking of hotels, there was this viral IG video this weekend that went viral, and it's basically of this husband and wife that after a few hours of being at the hotel room, the wife's clothes, makeup, towels was all over the room.
That's us.
And he was like, "My wife is the movement."
Wait, she made a mess,
Like
or
she
she was
undressed.
like
A mess.
unpacking
Like the
and
hotel,
hanging her
a
clothes
mess.
up.
The hotel room
Oh.
was her mess, basically.
Yeah,
It was
no, that's
makeup
generally
everywhere,
us.
all over the counters. It was clothes all over the floors.
Listen, that's just being a girl.
Yeah. She moved in.
Like when Natalie and I enter a hotel room, 10 minutes later, it looks like a tornado went through.
Are you unpacking when you get to a hotel? Are you
It's a little bit
hanging
of both.
things up,
it's
folding
no,
things?
it's chaos. It's,
I have just started doing that, and I think that is a sign of growing up.
Yeah, I unpack. It doesn't mean that the room doesn't get messy,
Right,
but I
right.
unpack. It makes me feel good.
It
And
does.
put my
Yeah,
suitcases away.
Oh, man.
I'm a mature adult, and then by day 2, it looks like
I have to
didn't.
be in that hotel room for 10 days.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like how long, though, are you in the hotel?
Yeah. If it's just a weekend thing, I'm not unpacking.
No,
But yeah,
yeah.
if it is like a week, I'm gonna get my shit out.
a week? What about 5 days?
What the fuck is the difference?
2
2
more
days?
days.
2 more days.
I'd probably leave it. Yeah, I'd probably leave
I
it.
unpack
I
no matter what.
never unpack.
No matter how long you're there.
No matter how long I'm there.
You never?
Wow.
I need
Yeah,
to-
because I used to do it out of the suitcase, and then it's just like everything is messy, can't find anything, so it gets 10 times
That's
messier.
true.
It's wrinkled, and now I'm like, oh fuck, now I need to call down for a steamer. Do I have time? Like now, when everything is organized, I know exactly what I need to do, when I need to wear it, when I want to wear it, because I can see it. Thank you, Natalie.
The only thing that comes out of my
Absolutely.
suitcase is the toiletry bag.
The skincare.
Just my toothbrush.
I will say I've noticed on Summer House every weekend they unpack their bags. Like they pull
That
their clothes
is
out of the dresser.
wild. Do you think they're like leaving anything there? Like,
For sure.
Do you think it's B-roll, or do you think there's a bunch of OCD cast members?
Or maybe production's the one unpacking it for
right?
them.
Like maybe somebody else is doing it. I doubt it though.
Well, Jesse Solomon came out and said he was fired from his finance job because of filming reality TV.
And now he's an influencer.
He basically said there's a lot of compliance and governance that goes into that. I'm just on TV getting drunk, hooking up with chicks, so probably bad look for the firm.
Well, he's not wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Self-aware.
also like you can always become a finance bro.
True.
It is a scary time where like he went to school and he had a real job and probably paid a pretty decent living, got this opportunity, and then at what point do you decide to go for it? I think you have to go for it if you're
Yeah.
Jesse.
I think
Yeah.
he's gonna end up being better off because now he's an influencer,
You hope-
and I'm
well,
sure he's
in the
making way
short
more
term,
money.
for sure. The question with fame and this type of success, it's not. Am I going to be okay for the next year or two? Jesse for the next year or two is going to be great, But like 5 years from now, I don't know how old Jesse is. He's a man operating in a woman's world right now,
Yeah.
filming and being a reality TV star. And how does he keep that sustainable? I'm sure he'll look into starting his own venture and his own business and things like that. But like 5 years from now, after he's become used to like being the celebrity and walking into hotels and bars and becoming famous and doing things he's never done before for money. I don't mean like weird things, but there's like campaigns. And then what if happens? Summer House, who knows? Like next season could be its last season. It's been how long has it been on?
8 or
9
9
years.
seasons.
I mean,
Yeah.
how many more
Less for me.
seasons can these adults, go to the Hamptons and
Yeah.
fuck around? Maybe a lot more.
Forever.
Maybe.
Kyle's
I don't know.
like 50.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kyle's great.
But it's also,
Kyle's having his
it
60th
is
birthday
it's
in the
a-
Hamptons.
Hollywood's a risk, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
It's not a long-term plan. It's kind of like it's a what have you done for me lately? You just got to figure it out. You have to be adaptive. It can be scary.
It
but,
makes
like,
me think of Whitney Rose. Her husband got fired because of a scene they filmed on season 2.
What was he doing?
It was risky. They were like,
Body painting. on
Naked-ish.
canvas.
Painting.
No. What
That-
does he do for work?
he was in like the finance business world. So basically he got fired and then he had like a contract with his job that he couldn't work for another firm for like 4 years.
You-
So
you know
like
what-
he couldn't even like work. So
you
then
know
Whitney
what's-
Rose became the breadwinner.
You know what's kind of crazy though, and it makes sense. So like the premise, I'm guessing, is why these people losing their job. It's just like, hey, you're managing people's money, and they need to know their money's safe, and they can't feel like their money's safe when they're like, when you're body painting each other, or you're
Yeah.
like, having sex with girls in hot tubs. But everything we've ever learned about Wall Street bros and like the movies like Wolf of Wall Street is these people who are managing your money, whether you see it on TV or not, are foul, disgusting, frat boy. They will like go to Tijuana and do the craziest fucking shit, all the drugs,
Tijuana.
sex, and rock and roll. And it's
TJ.
just like, what we know this is happening.
You're gonna get a happy ending.
Yeah. Like everything we've ever learned about people on Wall Street is that they're fucking crazy.
What's also crazy is when you like go to college with someone or like you've gone to high school with them and like you've seen them be like party animals
Yeah.
and then they're a doctor.
No, now they're married.
And I'm like, I could not get my like
doctors,
stitches done by
people
you.
on Wall
Like-
Street, they're some of the craziest motherfuckers.
Like you're opening people up and doing surgery, and I have seen some shit.
That's so true.
Yeah. So I don't know. Why are we firing these people?
Yeah.
We know you're nuts. Jesse getting it on in the hot tub and having a little bit of booze doesn't make him bad with money.
I also don't think he did anything like crazy on
Yeah.
Summer House.
Maybe it was all the like, yeah, she's married and maybe
do
I mean,
remember-
I know, but if you were like, you let's say you gave your retirement money to like some firm and they're like, yeah, so anyways, your new rep is Jesse Solomon. And you're like, who is this guy? It's like, I saw this you're watching it, your girlfriend, or maybe it's just like, wait, isn't that guy manage my money? It's just like,
I would want to pay him for the record.
would you think your money, do you think it's being invested? It's just like, would you run to make sure that he's not all like buying dog coin?
I would brag. I'd be
You
like,
know,
he's
whatever.
managing my money.
Yeah, no, but you think about this too. Like it happens a lot on The Bachelor also, where like they're teachers or they're and it's like now you're seeing them on The Bachelor.
Teachers on The Bachelor or Bachelorette is like I would not be thrilled for my children's
What if you saw
teachers.
River's teacher
Really?
on
Yeah, I
your
would.
reality
I
TV
would
show?
be a little uncomfortable.
What
with
about
that.
Daisy though? Like Daisy was a teacher. Like if I saw her on TV, I'd be like, that's my teacher.
I guess it just depends.
Depends how you
Yeah.
act.
Yeah.
It really just depends. But also, like, even if you're Daisy and the sweetest person, but like my kid is no longer going to get the education that they need. They're a distraction at that point. You don't want your kids' teachers to be a celebrity. Like, what age? Like kindergarten to maybe third grade.
My principal in middle school was on Survivor, and it was like
Ooh.
the coolest thing ever.
Talk of the town.
Talk of the fucking town.
Did you guys ever get any homework done?
To be homework done? Yeah. Yeah.
You did.
Yeah,
It
but when
was-
she would come into your classroom, like before, it'd be like, oh no, principal. And then it would be like, hey, tell us about everything.
That's what I'm saying. I just feel like
It's giving super nanny. Like the nanny that's famous on TV. Like I wouldn't want her to be my nanny.
My friend's
Huh?
therapist went on Survivor, like left, like being like, sorry, I
Oh.
can't do any more sessions right now. And then she saw her on Survivor and was like, yeah, I don't think I'll be signing up for any more sessions.
Exactly, yeah.
no. I mean, listen. Like we watch reality TV to snark, judge, and feel better about ourselves. And I say this as someone who's been snarked and judged on, and people have felt better about themselves watching me on television. It is what it is, and that is the downside of being a reality TV star.
I
There's
mean-
a lot of upsides.
On the flip side, Olivia Flowers was also fired. But she was fired basically because she moved closer to her parents and she got a new boyfriend out of Charleston.
Okay. Well, good luck, Olivia.
Yeah.
Wait, that's kind of sad.
It's
I kind of liked
sad.
her.
No,
'Cause
she's a very sweet girl, but not
Yeah.
committed to the bit.
Well,
Their
she did
whole-
her GD with us, and then basically she said like I wanted to have a season where I could be myself.
And
but
by
then wasn't
GD, you
able.
meant going deeper,
Going
not
deeper.
general diploma.
Uh,
When
I
when
do
she
have one
got
of
her
those.
GD with us.
I guess the producers or whatever, when they called her, was saying that because she was spending so much time outside of
Yeah.
Charleston, that she's not actually hanging out and being a part of the group.
Oh.
So she's in Texas. Her family just moved down there, and her boyfriend, I think, is there as well. So she's just not.
Yeah.
They're like, you're not really a part of the group, so we're gonna have to like write you in or figure out where you fit. So it just doesn't make sense. Where she was like, if I had known that, I would have spent more time in Charleston.
Wait,
But
is that what she said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why didn't she?
she didn't know.
Wha-
She wasn't even given a heads up. She said that the producers called her and were like,
Shouldn't she have known?
Yeah. Well,
Well, I feel like
she didn't think that they were judging her choices based off of where she wants to spend her off
Yeah, I mean,
time.
listen. I think the truth is
Yeah.
somewhere in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
and how many seasons has she been
That's
on?
exactly.
Two.
She's only been on for 2 seasons. She's not like a mainstay. Her biggest
No.
drama was
She was
the
a
guy-
No,
mainstay,
no, no.
though.
Her
No,
last
she was a
season,
mainstay. I'm
she's-
saying she was only on for 2 seasons, so she doesn't have like all of the knowledge of like what I need to do when I'm on this reality show to stay and maintain.
The
this
reality.
reality
I'm
show.
guessing the reality is that like she was on the chopping block, so to speak. She was under consideration for the producers to think, is this someone we really want back, right? And I'm guessing it's a like a half truth that she received. It's probably true that she hasn't been spending a lot of time in Charleston, and she has this boyfriend. I think her having the boyfriend who, and then maybe the question was, does this boyfriend want to come on, or how involved does he want to be?
mm,
And maybe she said no, right? And it's just kind of like, well, what are we going to get out of this person? And instead of like letting her know, like I'm saying that like Jesse, right? Jesse left his job. He's probably all in. He's probably like talking to producers like, hey, I want to be a part of next season. What is my storyline? He's probably crafting ideas. He's leaning into the job. He's treating it like a job, as opposed to like maybe Olivia was just like, hey, this isn't my whole life. And listen, I respect it as a human being. She's like, she doesn't necessarily want to be a full on reality TV star. But if you're a producer, you're just kind of like, And I'm just saying, like, she should have known if she really wanted to be a reality TV star. You kind of have to lean in. You have to make it your life. And she didn't do that. And they were probably like, yeah, we can do better.
What do you
Aw.
think Lindsay Hubbard's boyfriend is going to do?
Well, Lindsay Hubbard is not the same as Olivia. Lindsay Hubbard is a mainstay. She is a star. She is a professional. She is
Olivia
committed.
is a mainstay.
was a
on
mainstay.
She was
somehow.
on for 2 seasons.
but she was a main cast
So,
member.
but
She was, yeah.
No, I understand. I'm not saying she wasn't a main cast member. I'm not saying she was a friend. I'm just saying she's new. When you're new, you're not guaranteed 8 seasons as if like, oh, well, now you've been on for, like new also might mean that like, it didn't really work. We tried, we failed. hire quickly, fire faster. You know, like they're not going to lean into her character. Lindsay Hubbard is like the OG of Summer House. I mean, she fucking casted West on the show. She is now pregnant. She doesn't need her boyfriend. She is fully committed to this job. She's going to save her pregnancy announcement for when everyone else is talking about Summer House and they're filming. You know what I'm saying? And meanwhile, Olivia probably has like, well, I'm not going to do that. And I have these boundaries. And again, protecting my mental health, which again, as a human, I respect. But as a TV star,
Well, I mean, her boyfriend is a doctor who works in biotech investing. Lindsay Hubbard is. So I don't feel like he will be showing his face on
I
Summer
hope he
House.
doesn't,
And I
yeah. I don't
respect
think
yeah.
so.
that.
And I don't
Yeah.
think he needs to. And I think Lindsay will
Yeah.
be just fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's a different situation between like why they would let Olivia go.
But
And maybe Taylor was like, it's her or me. Do you think that was possible?
I also think, yeah, maybe because she has the boundaries with filming with Taylor, Austin and her dated. So I'm like, I feel like, who are you hanging out with? Craig's probably off with Paige.
Right.
Like, who
know,
you hanging
It is
out
interesting
with?
though, because Olivia was the main drama, like one of the main dramas, and for her to just be like kicked off is like,
Yeah, but to Sierra's point, if
like who is she gonna film?
if
with?
she's just like, I'm done with this, I'm no longer talking, it's just kind of like, all right,
Well,
well,
it's
then.
kind of like this past season of VPR as well, where it's like, how long are we going to drag on the Scandival storyline and not have anything new to add to it? So it's like,
Yeah.
is Olivia's only storyline the I don't want to be around Austin and Taylor?
or even New Jersey, Melissa and Teresa.
and Melissa and
Mhm.
Teresa were
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
But speaking of hot messes, Real Housewives of Orange County came back. This season is going to be so messy, so good.
I will say, I've tried watching this in the past, and I just could never. Like, to be blamed, it was just too white for me. But this season was like good. Like this season was really good. The first episode.
It was a good first episode. And I haven't seen any other seasons. And I feel like they do a really good job, like catching people up who are coming in for the first time.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it was a little bit different from Housewives of Jersey, where I like started and I needed Justin to make me a PowerPoint of who was who. And
Yeah.
this, I was like kind of okay. Like,
Yeah.
I kind of understood what was happening.
Orange County's good.
Shannon's had a tough year.
Shannon's had a tough
Yeah.
I mean,
year.
definitely her fault to start with. DUI, definitely.
for sure.
She needs to take responsibility. Has she really taken responsibility?
She went to rehab,
Yeah.
and she's like apologized publicly.
She
Did
posts
she go to rehab? She did like a program and did
An
community
online course.
service. But yeah, that's the whole thing
Yeah.
that's going on right now
That's
is that she
true.
claimed to be going sober or whatever when all this stuff came out, and she's very much still drinking.
I mean, that video of the hit and run was wild. Do you remember that? When she runs
Mhm.
into like a movie theater
And her
then
poor
It was a
dog.
house.
It was
No, it's
a
a
house.
house.
It was a house. Yeah.
it was a hit and run.
And then
Yeah.
she, what did she do? And then she like started walking her dog
She
right
gets
after.
out and starts walking down the street with her dog and acted like she was just taking her dog for a walk. That wasn't my car.
That's fucking crazy.
That's delusional.
I mean, it does look like this season they're going to be grilling her.
But then
Like, every
her
episode.
boyfriend leaves her after DUI and is now dating one of her co-stars.
Alexis.
Alexis
That's
Bellino.
now that's tough.
And this allegedly, according to Shannon, that this now person that's dating her ex sued her in the past, and she lost like $300,000 in legal fees. So it's very messy.
It's so
Alexis sued her,
Alexis,
Alexis' husband.
but like Shannon, the whole thing
but
is,
and Alexis is no longer with.
Is no longer
her
with,
husband.
yes.
Her
Exactly.
husband sued Shannon.
but Shannon's like, you need to pay me. Well, she doesn't explicitly say this, but she implies like, I need my $300,000
Are you gonna
back.
pay it back? And she
Why
was like,
would-
absolutely not.
But why would she have to pay it back? Why did she lose?
Shannon's claiming that Alexis had her signature on like the legal papers.
It was
So
like her
she's-
husband sued them for defamation because he sued Shannon and Tamra.
I will say this is the 100th season of Housewives. So OC was the very first Housewives season or franchise to exist, and this is the 100th season of all franchises.
Why did he win $300,000?
No,
Did he
no,
really?
I don't
No,
know
no,
if
no.
he
In
won
fact?
$100,000. I just know that the legal, I think she's saying all of her legal fees and everything
Yeah.
plus what she had to pay out or whatever.
Shannon said I lost $300,000 in that legal case. So like I need that money back.
How rich is Alexis's ex?
Like, Orange County is kind of fuck you rich.
Well,
even
because
when
like
they're
if you're
not.
that rich, you can kind of sue someone even if you don't have a case into like poverty just by legal fees.
Yeah.
Just by keeping and yeah.
True.
Well, I think Shannon's more irritated that that's her like she's dating her ex. His
She's more concerned about that.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're pulling something out to make it seem like I have a legitimate reason, but really I'm upset
She didn't care the
about
money.
yeah, it's the ex-boyfriend that's now going to be around
'Cause
in group settings.
There's a line that everybody is quoting right now where it's Alexis going, "There's the door, Shannon, be a door." So it's
Bador.
like,
There's the door, Shannon Bador.
but yep, oh true.
Tamara doesn't care about tattoos. You have a question, Leah. Is River allowed to get tattoos like
That's
today?
actually Justin's
This is my question.
today.
So no. So basically, Tamara went
Sure.
with her daughter to get a tattoo, and she said, as long as it's not on your face, then we're good.
How old's her daughter?
18.
I mean, if she's
Listen,
18,
I think I'll just show River all of my tattoos that look like shit and say, is this what you want? Because if I would have waited and if I would have done the listen, I was just going to any tattoo shop on the corner of some strip mall and being like, this is what I want. And it was thick, busted, crooked, not good tattoos.
Which one do you regret?
Several of them I regret.
So just imagine it like a teardrop, whatever it is,
Yep.
on River's face.
she has to get a tattoo at 18 that's not that bad that she eventually regrets.
I was gonna say, I feel like neither one of you could tell your daughter that she's not allowed to get tattooed.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to tell. Like when I was raised in a family, obviously we had I had 10 siblings, have 10 siblings. My parents raised 11 kids. And so like when I turned 18, I got a handshake and a good luck. I'm slightly exaggerating, but like my parents stopped parenting me because they had other things to do. But I'm just, I don't know what like the world's going to be like in 18 years. I hope we're still here and have a country to live in. But listen, I'm a big believer that when you're an adult, you're an adult. And when River's 18, I hope we have done a good enough job in the next 18 years to give her agency and the ability to make decisions, make mistakes, learn from them. Eventually you can't tell your kid what to do and not to do all the time. And like when there's 15, 16, 17 years old, you can't do that. Usually you get the opposite fucking result. So like I want to tell River that, at the end of the day, it's your choice, but here's, I want to give her the options of what might happen. And I want her to, I'm going to manipulate. I'm going to manipulate her into thinking, I want her to value herself so much that when it comes to making these permanent decisions, that it's just like, well,
my dad was very like, you will not get tattoos, you will not do this, you will not do that. And I used a fake ID at 17 and got a tattoo. So
well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, especially there's like always like fad things that happen while you're in like junior high and high school where it's like everybody's getting their nose
and
pierced.
Oh,
the
yeah.
cool mom's getting the tattoo, whatever.
The trick is you let them, you in a way, you make them feel like they can decide to do whatever they want and give them all these choices and then give them all the list of potential consequences and rewards that could happen. It's like a game of like, hey, do you want to play this dangerous game that, if you get it wrong, you'll never be able to take back? And then I'll be like, decide.
I know. I think.
And she'll be like, you know what? I'm fine. I'm good. Dad, it's fine. Let's go get ice cream.
I think
some version of that.
I think of all the girlies that have like mustaches tattooed on their fingers from 2016.
No, the infinity.
Yeah.
When everyone got the
She'll
infinity.
do that.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'm just saying it's one of those like dumb things where it's like, if you waited, if only you waited, you'd know.
I just praying to the sweet baby Jesus, Lord above, that she does not get the back tattoo.
What if the back
Tramp
said?
stamp.
The tramp
What if
stamp?
the back said, "I heart daddy"?
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
She's like, no, I got it for you, Dad.
My friend has
that will be.
but I love him daddy from like Little Mermaid tattooed on his ass, but I'm like, what if?
Yeah.
That would be a sad day for Dad. That would be a sad day for Dad.
Yeah.
I don't. The tramp stamp. Ugh.
The
God.
butterfly.
Stuff.
I wanted that. I wanted a fairy
I
on
did
my lower
too.
back, and
Oh,
then
I
I
did
wasn't old
too.
enough, so I got a belly button piercing.
It is.
I'll
wanted
clarify. I
it
was saying
all.
back tattoo, not tramp stamp.
Ugh.
But also, we can just give her a fake tattoo, and she can
There you
be like,
go.
"Do you like, like wear this for a couple? We can renew it
Henna.
as henna.
Henna.
As soon as it starts to fade away, let's just give it. You can get another one, another
I was
henna.
like, nowadays, the temporary tattoos look like real tattoos
They do.
anyway.
They have those
Yeah.
ephemeral tattoos that are
Mhm.
supposed to last 2 years, but apparently are lasting way longer.
Oh my God.
Oh
They do
my
last
God.
longer, yeah.
Really?
We have so many
Yeah.
options, and
Well,
when River
2
turns,
years.
and when River gets
Right.
to that age, in 18 years, imagine what we're gonna have. It's gonna be crazy.
Just think about it. It shows
Honestly,
up on your skin.
probably real tattoos won't even exist because it would be like I can have this for 5 years or forever.
That's
I'm gonna
so
go for 5
true.
years.
Bucks.
You know,
Oh my God.
And not
that's
have
so
to get
true.
laser removal.
Yeah, I need to get laser removal on multiple of mine.
I think they're fine. Paradise is back.
Yes, thank God.
Well, we hope. It was an absolute dumpster fire of a tragic season last year.
Yeah.
It was worthy of canceling last season. It was. I don't know what happened. It was boring. We didn't give a shit about the characters. The relationships were fake and phony. It was an absolute trash bag of a season.
Yeah, it was.
They
But-
took a year off.
I think if this season of Love Island has shown us anything, it's how important casting is.
Sure.
Because this season was better than any other season, in my opinion, even of UK. Like, this was a great season, and I think it has everything to do with the cast.
Well, Bachelor in Paradise, obviously, they pull from their season. Do you think they should still do that?
Well, I think that the last 2 seasons, I think that Jen has some men on her season who could be good candidates for
Sure.
drama.
I mean, they all could be good.
So who do we want?
And then
who do we want
Joey's had
casted?
great.
I think they need to not go from current season, or I think they need to pull from like
OGs.
The archives.
Yes, the
They've-
archives.
I think they've done a little bit of that all already. I think there needs to be some sort of change in the formula. I think overall, Bachelor in Paradise almost would do themselves a service by like forgetting that the word bachelor is in front of the name of the show. And they have to stop trying so hard to have its bachelor vibes. And they have to like stop bringing down like Tanner and Jade, who I love, and start being like, see, it can really work here. Like, we don't give a fuck if it can really work here. We just want messy, and we want back and forth, and we want comedy and drama. And like, if people end up together, great, but like, don't force 3 engagements.
Yeah.
You know, like if
that are
I-
just gonna break off in 2 weeks.
Give me one, fine. Like, if there is a relationship to be had there, let's cultivate that relationship and let's see if it works. But these forced engagements, you know, knowing that it's just basically a business transaction between these couples, hoping that they can like get enough like followers and deals. You know, some of them might work out. There's been a lot of good relationships that have come from Bachelor in Paradise, but like I think too many of these cast people are too afraid to be messy and I don't know. They need to bring in some ringers, and ringers that are protected.
Yeah.
Because and then by protected I mean like somehow like it's, you know, as we see on Love Island, the OG cast, the cast that shows up first, it's very high school. You know, they have to bring in people that either are already kind of famous from different seasons, have clout, you know, like bringing in the hottie that no one cares about and they don't, you know, and like they need to be really a charmer. You know, they can't be this tall, awkward, and good looking.
Well, I think too, like something about Love Island that's great is like there has been so much drama and recoupling, and like there really hasn't been a couple that has been together since day one, other than Kayla and Aaron. But they've had their like crazy moments, and they broke up and they got back together, and like I don't know. I feel like Bachelor in Paradise sometimes they like lock down day one, or like they know who they're gonna come in and get with, and then they just stay together the whole time.
Yeah,
and there's
'cause
no like drama.
Because too many of these cast members know who's going, and you know, it's just like they just pick from the who has the most followers, and I don't know the solution, but they need to figure out from a casting standpoint how to fight against the characters editing themselves or coming in with a plan and being disingenuous, and it's, you know, the way the show is set up right now, it's so cookie cutter. And it works for the Bachelorette and it works for the Bachelor, you know, like their formula of these group dates and the one-on-ones and having 25 men date one woman, that still works, or vice versa. But Bachelor in Paradise, well, now that you have Perfect Match and Love Island, you have all these other very similar styled shows doing way more and having way more dynamic people and conversations and authenticity. They got to mix it up. Otherwise, it's just going to fall flat and be stupid.
Where do they
Like
film Paradise?
in Mexico.
I think they need to ship
Sayulita.
they need to ship them over to Fiji, let them drink some of the Fijian water, and I think it's like there's the drama.
Fiji water.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. They need to do something, because if they're just going to like take a season off and come out with the same formula, I don't know.
It'll be a letdown for sure.
Yeah. Do you feel like there's anything that like they used to do in the past that they should bring back or like do again? Because it used to be really good.
Yeah, season 3, it was awesome. No, I just think back then there was less of, it was still early influencer days. When I did Bachelor in Paradise season 3, Instagram stories didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? Like swipe ups. I think I made $1,500 in social media ads before I went on Bachelor in Paradise. $1,500. I didn't show up to Bachelor in Paradise being like, all right, now I'm going to be rich forever. You know what I'm saying? Like it was unclear what I was going to be able to do with this. The people who showed up for Bachelor in Paradise kind of just showed up to make TV and were like authentically in the moment, and you had stars. And other shows are still able to do that for whatever reason. Where Bachelor in Paradise, you just have a bunch of people afraid to be themselves. And then I think also Bachelor in Paradise, I think they also demonize their characters for doing nothing. And so when you do that, then it's just like you're really disincentivizing these people to do anything.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
like you're demonizing them for small fights, or like, making it, for talking to people offline. It's just crazy fucking shit. And then clearly we are seeing with these other shows, you can have more authentic drama by being, I don't know what these producers on Love Island or Perfect Match are doing versus Bachelor in Paradise. I've never been a producer on these shows, but I think the people who used to make Bachelor in Paradise in its earlier days seem to have a formula that for whatever reason has been lost on some of the newer people doing it, because last season's product was dog shit.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that between Joey's women and Jen's men, it'll be a good cast this season. And I'm hopeful that it'll be a good season.
Yeah. All right, that does it for household headlines. Up next, your favorite Bachelor character, Brett, who you never knew. The Bachelor Nation is sad to have seen him go night one. He's here. Coming up, we'll get to know him. How does he feel about what people think about him? Is he really the greatest guy of all time? Was he meant for Bachelor Nation? Does he deserve a chance back at Bachelor in Paradise? We'll find out next.
There's a lot of decisions you have to make when you have a baby, and the one that I feel the most comfortable and safe making is using Huggies for our daughter, River. I always tell Nick that when River's crying, she's trying to tell us something, and that's the case with most babies. They express it through cries, and so we've turned to Huggies. The new Huggies Skin Essentials are here. A brand new dermatologist-approved line of diapers, wipes, and pull-ups training pants that are all designed with baby's sensitive skin in mind.
Their wipes are so thick and pH balanced to help maintain healthy skin. Their wipes have 0 harsh ingredients for a great, gentle clean.
The Skin Essential Diapers features the Skin Protect Liner, which is what helps take care of the ick and stick that can cause rash. They have this liner built in their diapers.
The whole diaper helps protect against the top 2 causes of rash by managing moisture and running mess. The liner gives you the barrier to help absorb moisture and lock away runny mess from baby skin. Pull-Up Skin Essentials has your big kid covered too with a training pant that is ultra soft and breathable to help protect sensitive skin through potty training. Learn more at Huggies.com.
Once again, head to Huggies.com to learn more.
Ladies, like I've said on this show before, your man could always up his grooming game, and that's where Cremo's Men's Body Wash can help. Nothing pairs with a shower better than Cremo's Body Wash, let me tell you. Cremo combines a rich, lathering, hydrating formula with meticulously balanced, multi-layered fragrances for a superior shower experience. Cremo's Men's Body Wash makes a regular shower feel like a scented sensation. Their bourbon vanilla body wash invigorates their senses with bold distiller spices perfectly balanced with notes of rich Madagascar vanilla and aged oak to create a shower experience that meets even the highest of standards. So if you know your man is probably stealing your body wash that's kind of irritating you and you're tired of that, get him the body wash that's made just for him.
So what makes Cremo different from other body washes for men? Cremo has unique layered scents that actually evolve as you wash, getting you clean and making you smell fantastic all at once. Cremo also offers a wide range of other grooming products for men, including shave cream, beard oil, shampoo, all in a variety of distinct scents. They also have amazing grooming products for women, including shave cream, razors, and hydration mist, all in a variety of unforgettable, dreamy fragrances.
You can find Cremo's Men's Body Wash in its new distinctive bourbon vanilla scent at Walmart or Walmart.com. Once again, that's at Walmart or Walmart.com.
There are a few products that I will ride and die for, and one of those is Nutrafol. I have taken Nutrafol for years now. I took it before I got pregnant and felt like I had the best, and I felt like my hair was in the best shape that it has ever been in my life. I now take it for postpartum, and the amount of shedding that does not happen is remarkable, and I owe it all to Nutrafol. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement with over 1 million people seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. Everyone's root causes of hair thinning are different, so a one-size-fits-all approach to hair growth doesn't cut it. Nutrafol has multiple formulas that are tailored to give your hair what it needs to grow throughout different stages, such as postpartum and menopause, as well as for different lifestyles, such as plant-based diets. Physician formulated with drug-free ingredients, Nutrafol supplements support healthy hair growth from within by targeting root causes of thinning, including stress, hormones, environment, nutrition, lifestyle, and metabolism as they evolve throughout a woman's life. With Nutrafol, building a hair growth routine is simple. Purchase online, no prescription required. Free shipping and automated deliveries ensure you will never miss a day. See results in 3 to 6 months. That is something about Nutrafol, is that consistency is key, so you do have to keep it up. every single day.
Get results you can run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code TheViallFiles. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code TheViallFiles. Again, that's Nutrafol.com, promo code TheViallFiles. That's TheViallFiles.
Hello.
How are you?
Brett, how's it going?
Oh, I'm fantastic. How are you guys?
I'm doing well. Where are you calling from?
My office.
What do you do for work? I guess I'm curious
I'm an
about
environmental health and safety manager.
Oh,
nice.
environmental
Pretty-
health and safety.
Pretty intense.
So tell us about that. What is that? What is that like?
It's a lot of regulatory stuff. So, like the guys that get made fun of for telling people to put their hard hats on, that's me.
Oh, okay. How did you get into that line of work?
So I actually went to school to be a history teacher, and perfect Brett fashion, I was told that I had to write a paper my freshman year that would take at least 8 hours in the archives a week to write a half decent paper. And I played football, and I'm like, I don't have that time, nor do I want to do it. I think I'm just going to switch my major, and here I am.
Probably pays more.
Yes, it does. It does, which, that's also a benefit. And freshman Brett knew that as well.
Okay. Do you
You
always
were looking out.
do you always talk in the third person?
No, I don't know why I'm doing it right now.
Okay. Well, you are a celebrity now, so.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
I'm trying not to be in my head. So
Well, Bachelor Nation certainly fell in love with you, man, for night one. It was a brief stint. We'd love to know what was your experience like, and were you surprised that you went home night one?
it was a good experience. I mean, I'm happy with how it shook out. A lot of people are treating me like I'm dead now, but
kind of are.
Well,
a lot of justice for Brett. We
Yeah.
miss you. Like someone commented, I can still hear his voice if I listen close enough.
gosh.
It was a good experience though. Like I have fun meeting everybody. A lot of the guys are awesome. Jen's amazing, obviously.
obviously.
I'm not mad with how it shook out. Like I went into it like, this is how it's going to go, how it's going to go. If it goes positive for me and I'm there the whole way, awesome. I was prepared for that. I was also prepared to go home too. To say surprised, I don't know. I really don't feel too surprised. Like I was tired more for one too. So that,
Shit, it's a long night. Yeah.
it was, man. And I was getting pretty tired. The bed was calling my name. So I'm like, this is either going to be in my bed at some point or bed here, but either way, let's get to it. But I wasn't fooled.
How much time did you get to talk with Jen night one?
I probably got the same amount, just as much as anybody else. I
You
got
did?
the
Okay.
fair shake.
How do you feel like that went? I only asked because like the last time we had someone like yourself who went home night one.
Yeah.
His name is Grocery Store Joe. He's made a bit of a name for himself after coming
Yeah,
on.
he's a fantastic guy.
Yeah,
Just
and
met him.
leaving night one, and I've gotten to know Joe. He's a good friend of mine, and a lot of people were like, "How could this George Clooney look-alike go home night one?" And it turns out, after talking to Joe, he was like, "Well, it was because he froze. Like he literally couldn't words out of his mouth. He was like, and then they were just like, "Sorry, man, we're making a TV show. If you can't talk, you can't be here."
Yeah.
Which is ultimately why he went home. It was like there was an actual reason. It wasn't like, it wasn't that Becca didn't care, didn't want to get to know him. It was just more like he just choked, is what he said.
Yeah.
Like, do you feel like that? Is that what happened to you? I think a lot of people were surprised because when we saw all the list of men coming out, you seem to stand out amongst the rest of the men. And I don't even know how you feel about that. You seem like a big, strong guy. You played football. It seemed like a lot of people kind of attached themselves to liking you because you seem to not fit the more like maybe six-packed traditional mold of a Bachelorette contestant. I don't know if you felt a certain way about that or if you were just happy to be there, but it did seem surprising, I think, for a lot of people in Bachelor Nation, where it's like, here's a different looking guy than they normally cast, which was a lot of people, I think people appreciated a breath of fresh air, and then all of a sudden it was night one and you're like, you're gone. And even if Jen was just like, I don't know, I'm not even vibing it, there's a lot of leads who have not vibed with people, but they found a way to stick around for a couple weeks. So why do you think someone like yourself, who clearly you seem very charming, you got a great beard, everyone likes a good beard, you got a good story. Like what the fuck, man? Why didn't you at least get a middle seat? Is that why you were like, this guy's not going to fit in the middle seat all the way to Australia. We're going to send him home. Was that?
Dude, I'm telling you, it might be. I do not like flying. I don't.
Okay.
And on my way there,
Oh shit.
on my way there, I was cramped in this window seat, and this poor guy that sat next to me, I straight up apologized. Like, dude, I'm sorry for being large. Like, I had to pull my elbows in and everything, you know. And he said, as long as I can lay on you, we're cool. And we became friends. I don't love flying. I would have done it, but I guess for the reason I went home, like, you know, a lot of as far as like how the conversations go, like I thought they were okay, but you know, like I said, if you saw us talking at a bar, you wouldn't look at us and go like, wow, sparks are flying, man. Like, this is crazy, you know, like
Sure,
those two are gonna get along. She's an awesome girl and she has the right to choose. You know, if I'm in her shoes, like I wouldn't want people questioning just because I have no right better than any of those other guys to deserve any special treatment or you know, I'm representing my offensive lineman on the show for sure.
Hell
Like
yeah.
Jason Kelsey has paved the way for me to be able to be here.
There you go.
There you
Never
go.
be grateful for that, man. I don't deserve a special treatment just because of that. And but you know, if the chemistry wasn't there, it wasn't there. And I'm not sour about it, you know.
Well, you have a good heart, clearly very charming and Mr. Humble. But I think no one's mad. Like, to be clear, no one is upset with Jen for sending you home because it's a busy night. Is someone who knows like what it's like to be in her shoes.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember any of you guys other than maybe say two. You know, and it's just, so it's not that we're mad that Jen sent you home because I'll just say it. Jen didn't send you home. I just don't think Jen kept you, you know,
Right.
as someone who knows how it works. But I think we're just a little upset with maybe say God, you know, and people who, you know, are godlike in that atmosphere for not being like, let's just keep this guy around and see what happens for a little bit longer. And I feel like we would have, but the more we talk to you, the more we enjoy.
Yeah, I mean, I can't even be mad there either, you know, like in my eyes. So obviously you found out at the end of the episode, immediately they're flying to Australia, right? I just said I don't like flying. Can I swear on here?
Oh, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Please, we're
if
begging.
I'm in there and they're panning around everybody, I'm shitting my pants in that moment. Like, I'm like, oh, you know, I would have got over it. They could have sedated me and put me in the cargo and got me there. But like, I think it's probably better to go home from there than to go home from from Australia.
If you were gonna go home week 2, then I think week 1's a better option.
I mean,
because
personally, I heard that news and I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, you're a sensible man as well.
Yeah.
This is the point where we're gonna need you to talk a little shit.
You're like,
we'll see.
I'm happy.
If it's justified,
Listen,
I'll do it. But
I'm just asking you to be honest. I don't want you to talk shit for the talking. But I'm sure you got to know a lot of guys. Not everyone's created equal. You seem like your heart's in the right place. We can't say that about everyone who shows up at the house. Was there anyone there that you thought, and we understand that you only had one night, you didn't really get to know them, but was there anyone, and again, we get shit wrong all the time. So, but that you thought, I don't know, maybe I'm surprised that he stuck around, or maybe he said something that was a little off-putting. Anyone, or are they all saints?
I mean, definitely not everybody's a saint. I mean,
Okay.
obviously you said it. I went home night 1. Thank you for reminding me. I didn't get enough to meet. I like to think I'm a good judge of character, but I think you need more than one night.
Okay.
I think there's a lot of authentic guys there. I think there's a lot of guys with their heart in the right place. I think there's a lot of guys that I would personally hang out with outside of, you know, the Bachelorette and being there. You know, there's some personalities that are going to clash, and I don't have one that would have clashed in any of those moments until someone put me in a position where I feel like I needed to, and that didn't happen. I wish I could give you something. I can't. I liked them all. I liked all of them.
All right.
And
Fair enough.
you know, that might hurt going forward if someone does something that I'm like, ugh.
Well, you wouldn't
but I
have known
liked
them.
most of
Yeah.
the
I
guys.
mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
what is your take of Devin? I mean, you met him night 1.
I personally like Devin. I think like I got along with him well, and when I left, I wished him luck. Like I truly am rooting for him. I think his heart's in the right place. I think he's a personality that he can rub people the wrong way, and you could probably see a little bit of that. But I think he's genuine with Jen, and I think he was genuine with us. But he's not going to give a shit if you don't like the way he talks to you or about you. I think he's going to try and come from a good place, but he's there for a reason, and I think his reason is to come home with her. So while I think he means to come from a good place and be good, he's not going to care what happens after that.
Yeah.
But I liked him. I think he's fun. I think he's a good guy. But again, he's probably a little more cutthroat than some other people.
Were you aware of the Brian Carr get out of this car situation that happened? Did you hear about that?
I came in a little late to it. I was sitting on the couch and I overheard it. I heard, I forget which one was telling the story, but I got it to overhear both sides of it. I didn't get myself involved in it. I heard, we were all kind of laughing about it a little bit. I wasn't going to get myself involved in that because I'm like, I'm too tired for this. I don't want to get involved in that. I understand why he's upset for sure. I also, being an outsider to the situation, have an ability to find it hilarious. So not something I would have done. And there's a lot of people saying how Jeremy should have reacted to it. No one knows how they would react in that moment. That's a tough situation. And as a whole.
Was he actually going around claiming it was his car?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Like, what was your entrance? Remind me again. Did you do anything?
I was just on screen walking out of limo.
You say you didn't do anything out of the box. You didn't bring anything. Okay. Because I was going to say, if someone took your prop or your thing and was like trying to use it, how would that make you feel?
If it was like a car I brought, I guess I would be upset. But if it was like a prop that I already used, like if they were out there like throwing a football around and just like, hey man, enjoy, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to let someone get a rise out of me just for the hell of it. So, but again, I wasn't in the situation, so it's tough to say. I could have been like, flipped out, but I would have probably just let it go.
Well, Jen's loss is Bachelor Nation's gains, and now that you are are you an eligible bachelor? Are you still single?
I am a single man. Yep.
Okay, let's talk about your type.
My type, I like someone definitely with a good sense of humor. I know that's a cop out a lot, but I do really appreciate that. Someone that can laugh and doesn't take things too seriously. I think I just learned that. Like, I don't take enough situations seriously, and I like to have someone who's the same. Someone with a good head on their shoulders that knows what they want and can keep me in check when they need to. If I am not taking something serious enough, they can be like, "Hey, stop being an idiot. Well, focus in." But someone who's there is able to have fun and can roll with the punches.
I have an idea.
Oh boy.
You left early. We didn't get to see you. The show, especially lately, has really leaned into your tragic sob story. You were unable to give it yet. I'd love to give you the floor. This is a one-on-one. You're talking to us. And does anyone want to play the role of Bachelorette? Can we hear your sob story, Brett? Whatever it is, give us maybe you have one, maybe you don't have one. Half of them make it up anyways. We'll play some music. We will pull on the heartstrings. You want to play, Jen?
I think I should play Jen.
Who does want to play? What is this role playing?
I got Sierra. Sierra's playing Jen.
Justin, I'll play Jen. Hell.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you've been in her position.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
You know
Nick
what she
is
would
Jen.
say. I'd be like, oh my god, I love that.
That's it. I'm like, tell me
All
the
right.
story.
All right. Well, we're on this date, Brett, and I'm really just happy you're here. And this is so good. And I've really enjoyed our first day of running around and skipping, and it's been a lot of fun.
It's been great. There's just a lot on my mind right now, and
Oh, really? Like what? Yeah.
just gotta get this off my chest that it's been hard for me ever since this happened. But when I was about 5, I was playing Monopoly with my family, and my mom she took all the houses that I had. I earned them, and
That must
I
have
had
been
no
really
money
hard.
left.
How did that make you feel?
It was tough. It just, I feel like it changed me. To like, she took them, and I wasn't in the game anymore, and I was having so much fun, and I flipped the board and I walked away, and I got put in the timeout, and that just, until you've lived something like that, it's hard, to find somebody that understands you for who you are and can understand Monopoly. You don't always win every Monopoly game, and I feel like you should sometimes.
I've never won either, Brett.
I feel like you get me.
I do.
Now kiss.
What did that teach you about relationships?
I love you.
Oh, you too.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful.
That's
Yeah.
You're a great
That was
actor.
great. That was really
No, that was
great.
real.
Yeah.
That was
not
real.
acting.
I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know where that was going.
No.
I
Yeah.
was truly nervous.
Yeah.
I'm crying.
Yeah. I actually did shave off my eyebrows in 5th grade, though.
That is traumatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that changed you.
Yeah.
That did. I had to go
Yeah.
to school and get absolutely obliterated by everybody making fun of me. And it was the day before picture day.
What
Oh.
made
I'm smiling.
Honestly,
like an idiot
that would be a great
Yeah.
sad
That would,
Bachelor
yeah.
story. I accidentally shaved my eyebrow
no.
off.
Why
on the
did
5th
you
day.
shave them?
Yeah, what made you
I
put your
thought
razor to your face?
I was 10 and I thought a unibrow. It was the next day was picture day, and I just covered my head in shaving cream. And the funny thing is, we had one bathroom in my house. It was my parents' like master bedroom, and I walked past them. They didn't see it, and I shaved like I had like this much left down here.
Could you imagine if
Aw.
Brett had a 101 and came on, and then everyone thought he was going to tell some tragic story, and he told this story about shaving his eyebrows in his hilarious way.
Refreshing.
Relatable.
I'm glad we could bring that to Bachelor Nation because I feel like that was stolen from us, Brett.
And they grew back amazingly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have
Wow.
amazing.
Thank you.
You
Yeah,
have
they
great
came in pretty
eyebrows.
thick. Yeah,
Have you been using a serum or
Yeah.
do you have a
tried.
code?
Yeah, do you have a code?
yeah.
Your teeth are pretty white
I was
too.
gonna say.
Thank you. Thank you. I brush them. Not a big deal.
And you use the teeth whitening, you can click the link.
They recently announced that Bachelor in Paradise is coming back, Brett.
It's a
Is-
no-brainer. You
with-
must go.
Is it? Yeah. Are we willing to go? Is the door open at least?
The door's open. The door opened when my friends were, because I've never watched it, I'll be honest. They explained to me that you can drink beer, wear swim trunks, and you're on a beach. And I was like,
That's pretty fun. Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the door open when that was said. It would have to feel right for me, honestly. Like it would have to feel like a right situation, and like I would have to feel good about going. Like I wouldn't go just to make people that want me to go on there happy. But it's not something I would say yes to right away. It's not something I would say no to right away. But the door is open.
Are
Okay.
your DMs open?
Yeah.
There are a lot of DMs.
Oh.
That was a lot because like I like to
Ooh.
consider myself a rather like I enjoy my privacy, and I've completely sabotaged that. Like my phone is buzzing constantly, and there are some women that are rather I would say straightforward and aggressive.
Have you been sent any nudes?
And no,
Okay.
no, they've been classy.
Okay. Good.
They've been
There you
classy.
go.
Yeah.
Well,
I
it is
wanna- I
ABC
do
Disney,
wanna-
so it's fans
yeah,
that are
I
also
want to
classy.
be appreciative to all those people. They've been classy.
Yeah.
Been good.
Well,
Okay.
Nick and I are together because I DM'd him. So you could
There you go.
find your future
Magic
wife,
goes down in the DMs.
mother of your children in your DMs.
Oh,
Just saying.
well, some of them definitely not from the way they speak.
Well, what is like? Can we get an example? Like, what are some?
Yeah, can you read us a DM?
I'm not going to.
Not reveal. I don't want to say their
I
name.
don't know if I want this person messaging me again. This is the thing. I don't want to say it and then be like,
It was that specific.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was.
it was.
They basically said that they were there to comfort me any way possible in their own words.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Like anyway.
Anyway.
I said that,
Nothing
thank
is
you
off
very much.
limits.
Anything you need,
Yeah.
they
Yes.
will
Yeah.
take care
And
of.
I just said, thank you so very much.
You responded.
I did I wanted her to know that I saw it.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Brett, stop.
I
Stop.
wasn't interested, but I also wanted to be like,
Hmm.
hey, God's watching.
Also,
No.
yeah, you can't.
Hashtag.
You can't send this type of stuff to people.
yeah. You made me uncomfortable. I'm going to recover from this.
I'm setting a boundary.
Yeah, I'll pray for you.
Are you a big Baltimore Ravens fan?
I am. I'm a Baltimore guy. So
Okay.
huge Ravens, huge Orioles.
Do you think they can get over the hump?
I hope so. I mean, I'm rocking with them either way, but yeah, it would be nice for our family to have something to be happy about.
I was saying, should we leave and let y'all talk football?
No. I mean, yeah,
Nick
sorry.
is a huge Packer fan, and if he could, this entire podcast would be about Packers.
I've been getting a lot of like in one of my Instagram pictures, I'm wearing a Reggie White jersey because I went to the Hall of Fame and I love Reggie White.
Hell yeah.
And I've been getting a lot of people reaching out like about my Packers fandom. And I'm like, well, I'm also wearing a Ravens jersey. No one's complimenting that.
I saw Lamar Jackson at the ESPYs. He said hi.
Did you?
Yeah.
I met him once.
Really?
I was working an internship and I said, what's up?
He
said,
remembered
what's
you.
happening? I said, not much.
You were like, I'm
So
going to
we're
be
pretty
famous
close.
someday. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
There you go.
Best friend.
Yeah.
Brett, you're a delight. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you.
Best of luck on anything you do in the future. We certainly hope to see you in Bachelor in Paradise. I know we have to wait at least a year for that, but all truly the best to you. You seem like a great sport. We are sad that you didn't get to stay on longer, but thank you for taking the time.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
Our pleasure. Take care.
Bye.
We'll see ya. Thank you.
What a delightful human.
Yeah, he was
adorable.
great.
I really am confused
I
as to
knew he would
why they couldn't find a spot for him.
Yeah, that is
Like, bring
weird.
up.
He
Can
does
we
seem
bring up
so
the men?
funny
Can we
and
bring
so
up the men
charming.
that are still there?
Yes. To what you said last week, where you said that like the producers oftentimes will send like
The Bachelorette keeps people they want.
right.
They don't send people they don't like home because they don't know them very long. And so, yeah, it's more people are kept. Rarely people are sent home. People are sent home when it's clear that are like pointing out cameras and just like
Like a
kind of-
liability.
they're just like, yeah, they're just not there to embrace the experiment, you know? And it's, you know, if you're constantly like, you know, before you meet producers saying, don't trust anyone, it's just like, that's not the point of this whole thing.
Right.
And there's always one or two people every season that act that way. Brett doesn't seem like that type of guy.
Right. Well, he seemed very like you put him on the spot and he like was
What a charming,
awesome.
funny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we should get into Bachelorette right now. And I feel like I need to say, Noah, Herb,
Aaron.
You're a terrible
if you're
brother.
watching, I don't know what you did, but I think you could have done something differently.
You're a terrible brother.
Why is Aaron acting the way he is?
I
He
don't
has a
hate him.
brother. He has a brother who's been through it. He knows that he's not going to come off good.
I think him compared to Devin, though, I would say that he's the better card.
What?
Maybe this is a hot take,
No.
but Devin to me is
Maybe
doing
it's a hot
too
take.
much. He's doing
No.
way
No.
No,
First time, second time, okay. Third time, I'm like, girl, sit it down.
He's the
like,
only one
let someone
doing
else have a
anything.
chance.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Aaron going up to him and being like, what did he say, babe?
He's known Devin for 2
Dylan.
seconds. Dylan.
Yeah, Ken doesn't even know his
he calls
name.
him Dylan.
He's calling him Dylan. He is just condescendingly telling him how wrong he is for Jen, who, by the way, he doesn't fucking know at all.
Second day.
Doesn't know him, doesn't know Jen.
Doesn't know Jen. The
Yeah.
important thing is he doesn't know Jen.
Yeah.
And here is this guy who thinks he is entitled enough to start going around the house telling other people what Jen wants.
My favorite line was first he was like, I just can't stop thinking about Devin. And then he goes up to Devin. He says, when I said I feel like you lack depth to be with a girl like Jen, I mean that out of love.
That was wild.
Excuse
Yeah,
me.
no,
It's condescending. It definitely is.
I just
And
feel like they're both being condescending to each other.
Yeah, but
No.
Devin is responding to Aaron.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, eventually at some point, like, you know, if you're going to be a guy who's just like, all right, fuck it, I don't know, man. Like, and I can say most people are just nervous and they're afraid of doing anything and they don't want to be disliked and blah, blah, blah. And then you always have a couple guys like Devin, you know, who like don't care, who aren't afraid, who are going to be like, all right, well, am I supposed to get to know someone or am I supposed to get to know someone? So I'm going to get up and I'm going to go talk to her.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, like, all these other guys, they have a problem with that. You know, Jen was literally sitting by herself. And that happens all the time, by the way. While who's the guy who
Thomas.
Thomas is
Thomas
went up to him and grabbed his arm
said
and
nothing to Jen.
Nothing.
Said, I'm so
Nothing.
sorry, Jen. I'm going to take him for it. Please excuse us. He just said, you come with me.
He's going home next night. I already know. He's gone.
Absolutely the
if
fuck
that
not.
doesn't scream Napoleon
Also-
syndrome, I don't know what does.
I think this happens every single
does. It
season
does. It
of
does.
of the group date and someone taking her. And I feel like when it doesn't happen, and this, I don't remember exactly the Bachelorette, but it was like we're on a group date and no one's pulling me.
Yeah.
that
Why
was
is no one pulling me? We're on a
'Cause-
group date. Why does no one want to talk
Because
to me?
they
That's happened.
all want to bro out. They don't want to ruffle
Are you talking about
feathers.
Claire Crawley? When-
Was it Claire?
It's every
I
season.
don't-
It happened
was-
on my season.
Maria
it
did it
happens
to
ev-
Joey, too.
It happens
so.
every fucking
But
season.
then everyone gets mad. How dare you? It's a group date. Why would you take her? Why would you take him? Why would you take her away on a group date? That's what you're supposed to do.
I think it's fine once. It was the
Devin-
fact that he did it like 4 times
But
that I
even
was
if he
like,
said
let
he'd
someone else have a
respect their
chance.
time, he didn't say, I'm going to go last or I'm going to go. He could still have a conversation and then be like, I'm not going to pull her again.
I will
I'll respect
say.
your time.
I will say. No. I will say the group date absolutely valid. Take her. Go
Agreed.
get your ice cream. Do what you got
It's
to do.
cute.
Whatever. He did say when they all got back. He said, "Listen, I won't fall to the back of the line, but I'll let y'all go." That's what he said. And
what
maybe
did he
we
actually
can
say?
get
Because we
actual
were
quote.
actually discussing that. We were debating this last night. Did he say he won't go first?
I thought he said,
said-
I'll respect your time.
I heard I won't fall to the back of the line, but I'll let y'all go.
Okay.
Let's get
But
exact.
that's kind of all semantics.
But he went
Sure.
he
but-
went first. And
Yeah.
he went so first,
So fast.
so fast. He gave no one, and he was standing right next to her. And immediately when they cheers, he said, "Can I take you?" No one had a shot. No one had a split
I will say
second.
this as facts because I've been there before. The person who goes first is almost always, without question, unless other people intervene by other people and people say running the show. The person who goes first is always the person who's interrupted first, who gets the least amount of time. So one could argue he was simply just going to get it out of his way. I understand it's not how it's going to go across, but just because you say, I'm going to let you have your time, yes, it was definitely the move that was going to piss people off the most.
But the show is about fighting for her love and making her the center of attention. So I'm like, you can't get mad because you guys are all focusing on respecting each other and
I couldn't
yeah,
agree
get
more.
your
Something
time.
I really liked that Jen said too is that like she was like, you guys are making decisions for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, why are you having why are you all making a pact that the men who got sent home from the second group date get to go first?
Yeah,
like,
it's
I'm the
her
Bachelorette.
show.
This is my journey to find love.
Maybe it's just like, honestly, there's a reason why I sent you all home.
Yeah.
Granted, she didn't, but
That was the nature of the date. It's
Yeah.
like tough.
and she
Mhm.
gets to pick. It's not yes, these
I've never
guys
even
don't get to
seen that
decide who
before.
gets time and who does
Yeah.
what. I honestly think Devin's biggest sin, his biggest egregious offense, is constantly saying how much he's obsessed with ice cream while eating gelato. There's a
can we
big
talk about
sign.
the
It says
difference?
gelato.
Can we talk
And
about
he
the
wouldn't
difference?
shut up about how much he's obsessed with ice cream. Now, in defense to Devin, I honestly don't know if I'm eating gelato or custard or frozen yogurt or ice cream. And honestly, what is the difference?
There is a difference.
I know there's a difference.
Gelato has eggs in it, doesn't it?
but do you
Ew.
taste the difference? Do you know? Could you
Yes.
blind taste test the difference between custard ice cream or gelato?
I think I could. Absolutely.
Fall
This
back
is
to the end of the line, but I think that it goes without saying that you guys deserve a little bit more. Those other guys had their.
He
I'm
never
not
said he
gonna
wouldn't go first.
You
But he said,
deserve
I'm not
a
gonna
little bit
fall
more.
to the
More.
back of the line. Okay, but you're gonna go first?
Yes.
No, he basically said what he was saying is he was like, I'm going to let you all have time.
Yeah.
But he never said that he wasn't going to take
Well,
time.
he said more.
Thank
I think
you.
more is very specific because
Yeah.
he's acknowledging that, like, I've had all this, you guys have had nothing.
And he's just
so
like, I'm
there's
going to go
more.
first and get it out of the way, and you guys have the rest of the night.
He could have
Honestly,
waited
though,
his turn,
too,
though.
it's like,
course-
it's up to you guys. Like, I'm going to take her. I'm going to go have a chat. And like,
I think we're all just kind of arguing the same thing. It's semantics, but the real point is, and I think we're all in agreement, is these other guys are just soft
Mm-hmm.
and they're worrying more about fairness. And like you ladies are in the room. Like, is it really how attractive it is to see all these guys just like talk about fair and be too afraid to
No,
grab
it's-
Jen and just being like,
Ick.
and then when what's his name? Who's the guy who grabbed Devin?
Thomas A.
Tom- when he was just like trying to explain himself to Jen, he looked like the biggest fucking
Idiot.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
Idiot.
because it's just like,
like was it ick?
And when
It was just him, but when he said
he said-
when he was
Yeah, it's like
when
complaining-
we got back and we didn't get time on the Jen and he said we would get our time and,
then
then he
the-
told you first and it's just not fair.
and then the fight
I hate when
between
it's like, it's not fair.
Devin and Aaron.
where he's like putting his drink
I'm
down.
telling
He's like, I'm
you.
gonna fight you.
Yeah.
It's like
Because I would win. It's like
'Cause I would-
okay.
yeah.
I mean,
I would have
I'm
sent
sorry.
all 4 of them home.
Yeah, there was nothing
well, Jen
more
didn't get to see that.
Yeah.
There was nothing more cringe than Aaron and Devin stealing her back to back to back to
Back
back
to
to
back
back
and
while
forth.
the
Oh my
ice
God.
cream is melting. Like, what?
yeah.
So childish.
That was just.
It's like, do you
I mean,
not-
at that point,
Embarrassing.
So
Devin
embarrassing.
Devin's mistake is he should have let it go. He
Yeah.
should have allowed.
Like the ice
Mhm.
cream.
But
That
my,
never needed to happen.
my question is
listen,
about the
Devin-
book.
I liked the ice cream.
Did he
bit.
bring the book with him to read for himself? Did he bring the book knowing he was going to hand it off and have a moment?
He was petty for that.
That was so
He was
random
petty.
to me.
Something to note is that Noah was on Tayshia's season.
Okay.
Tayshia's season was also
Claire's
Claire's
season.
season.
Yeah.
Okay.
So very kind of weird truncated season. Noah came in late. Like it was the only season where they kind of like Love Island it, where they brought in bombshell. Noah was essentially a bombshell.
Mhm.
Like him and like it's like when Tayshia came in, they brought in some new ringers, so to speak. And Noah was like kind of the only one of the guys that like stuck around. And it was probably because, and this might explain some of Aaron's antics, or maybe why Noah gave him, I can only assume, terrible advice, is that Noah came in, it was a pretty big personality early on. He made his mark early on, and he kind of had to do that because he came in mid-season.
Do you think Aaron came in with a book on, what was it? It was called Principles for Self-Growth. Do you think he came in with this book, Principles for Self-Growth, because Noah was given a book on emotional intelligence by Bennett on Tayshia's season?
Was he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe.
There's
But I guarantee
That's so corny.
Here, look.
It's not a war gift. You know, I won't call it a war gift. More of a gentlemanly gift, I think.
Oh, I remember
It's
him.
for you. I'd like to, explain it to you. Perhaps maybe I open and go through it. What do you prefer? You want to open it? It is for you. That is a proper way to give a gift.
He wrapped it and everything.
So yeah, now that I'm watching this and being reminded of this, so Aaron is basically playing Bennett. Like, why? I don't understand.
Yeah, that is weird.
It's corny.
To you is this, book on emotional intelligence.
Wait,
there
that
are
is so
actually
weird.
4 components of emotional intelligence. 1 is self-awareness.
So like this is all campy. Like, why did they do this?
Leia has a point. I think it was like Aaron before coming to the Bachelorette was like, let's have a bit. And that was his bit. So he probably had that prepared.
Yeah, but
that's
no one
weird.
Yeah, it's
remembers this
weird.
shit from 5 fucking years
I
ago.
did.
Leia did.
And it would be
That's why you work here.
Well, it would be one thing if Noah gave the book, but because someone
No, but
tried to belittle Noah and give him a book on emotional intelligence, why would his brother then
play
play
Bennett.
on that
His
and
brother's
do it to
playing
someone
Bennett.
else?
it's ridiculous.
It's corny. It's
It's
cheesy.
really
It's-
weird.
Why? Yeah, why does he come in? I don't understand. Like you're.
He
you know
saw
who's-
it backfire on Bennett, and then he did it.
You know
Yeah.
who's not here for Jen? Aaron.
Yep.
Like, because if you either one or two
coming
things
in with a
happened. He
bit.
came in with a bit. He already knew. Him and Noah were like, "Oh, this would be funny. This happened to me," and blah 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 blah. Or this happened in real time, talking to producers, and Aaron was like, "Hey, my brother, this happened to my brother. You should guys go buy this book." And they were in Australia, and someone went, they sent out a handler, and they went out and bought the book earlier in the day, and they came back and did this thing. Either way, like clearly Aaron is there to like fuck around and not take it all that serious, and it's just campy, and it's like, I don't know, a callback from 5 seasons ago.
Yeah, it's
You
weird.
know, I guess he did start the drama that we're all talking about, but I guess, Devin did us a favor, right? He was willing to not be afraid of criticism and go for Jen, and he pissed off plenty of guys, not just Aaron. I honestly find the whole Aaron antic, and now that I know about this book, it makes it even more disingenuous. Like, what are you there for? It's like week 2, and he's like tattletaling already. Like, honestly, your twin brother actually got engaged. And that's why I don't, from a producer standpoint, I understand it, because they love to bring in the happy couples to show you like this could actually work. And so the twin brother of one of their success stories is coming in and doing bits.
Yeah, that's weird.
It was very weird, and it just felt to me like everybody was self-conscious about their own connection with Jen, or they just couldn't figure out how to stand out from the crowd, and so they're angry at Devin because he's doing a good job of it. Devin is like, he's making individual time with Jen. He's having individual conversations. He hasn't had a one-on-one, but he's had more time with her than anyone else other than the people who did get a one-on-one.
Yeah, honestly, he seems like a nice guy. He seems like an affable,
I think-
fun
yeah.
guy. He doesn't take himself that seriously. And like these guys, there's nothing that I find more irritating is the guys who are insecure and too afraid to just go up to talk to someone will say things like, "You don't have good character." Like, well, they don't know a fucking thing about this Devin guy. And that's it just reeks of insecurity. These guys who are so willing to, it's fine. Say. You're like, I wouldn't have done that, not for me. But to sit there and start to degrade these people's characters because they did something you don't like to do, bad character, please. What did they do?
You know who does have good chemistry? Sam
They
and Jen.
Jen wants
Him saying you bother me, and her being like, I bother you, how? And then making out.
Hot.
Yeah, can I tell you, I
Hot.
watched it with Connor last night, and he was like, I knew exactly what he meant when he said that. And she goes, how do you think that she figured that bothered meant that? And I go, hot and bothered, babe. Hot and bothered. But it was hot.
Jen loves him.
No, it's hot.
Yeah.
He's got
Jen's
sex
in
appeal.
love.
He definitely has sex appeal. He's kind of giving a little Tyler Cameron in like the way that he
baby.
Well, the way that he talks.
He does that, baby.
The way that he talks and the way that like I feel like or
He's
who
smooth.
I mean, he is your prototypical Bachelorette contestant.
Yeah.
And the winner is.
Do you know who else I think is also standing out from the crowd? Grant.
Yeah, I like
Grant
Grant.
was cute.
I like Grant a lot.
I like
think they have
Grant
great
because he is
chemistry.
unbothered. He's clearly confident in himself. He's the only guy, at least that we got to see amongst that group that went into Devin and like, oh man, you're good. I kind of respect
Yeah.
it. And like, I wouldn't have done that because like, honestly, clearly you're getting yelled at, but like, doesn't bother me.
Exactly.
Like,
He's
Grant
confident.
could not be the least bit bothered by the amount of time that Devin is getting. And if you're bothered by it, then there's a reason why you are single and alone.
a nice surprise. Marcus loved
Love.
him, loved the date. Only problem, I loved the fact that he opened up about war. I feel like that's extremely rare for veterans. You know, my brother served in the Navy, and I feel like it's extremely rare for them to open up. And so I'm like, I feel so grateful that he did.
Mhm.
I wish Jen would have thanked him for his service.
Mhm.
I just feel like that's something you do.
Mhm.
And the fact that he like opened up about being in Afghanistan and all of this terrible things happening. And I just wish he would have been like, you know what? Thank you for sharing and thank you for your service. I just feel like it would have gone a long way.
Yeah. I mean, maybe she said it and they didn't air it,
Mm.
but like, yeah,
That's a mistake if they didn't air it.
I would agree. But great date.
I have
Great
a
date.
question though about the date. Do you get to decide what dates you're going on? Like,
No.
you don't
What do you
get
mean?
to
Who's the you?
the Bachelor or the Bachelorette. Like, do they run them by you? Because she seemed like the last thing in the whole world she ever wanted to do was go skydiving.
Oh, as far as the dates itself, those
Yeah.
are planned months in advance.
But don't they run it by her? Like, are you
No.
comfortable with it?
No.
Really?
Do you have a fear of heights, perhaps?
Then they're going to do it, especially.
More so?
because-
Yeah.
Like Hakeem with the spiders.
I mean, keep in mind, they are
Oh my God.
making
Yeah.
a TV show. Like, for example, skydiving. They don't whip that up. They move fast on that show, but like, there's safety meetings and things like that. Again, how this shit works outside of like filming in LA. When they go to a destination, they have like an advance team. They'll send producers to these destinations weeks in advance. They'll scout the area. They'll meet with the local tourism boards. They're like, what's cool to do around here? Yada, yada, yada. Right. And then maybe there's a skydiving thing, and then they'll decide what kind of dates they can do. Maybe they have some backup plans, right? But these things have to happen, in advance. They're filming a TV show. They have to make sure that their cast and people are safe and things like that.
Mhm.
As far as like who goes on what's date, I think it's collaboration between the lead and the producers. It doesn't matter if you go on the first, as far as you're the lead, it doesn't really matter if you take someone on the first date or the sixth date, right? Because after 6 dates, then you start going, some people start getting a second one-on-one and things like that. So really it comes down to after night one, it's kind of like, who are your top people, right? That can change over time. So you start kind of penciling in people. It's never coincidence the guy who was a skydive, here you go. You have Jen, afraid of heights. You have the Army Ranger, very much not. Imagine the Army Ranger, who is literally a hero, an American hero who has served this country, fought in wars, and has a man strapped to his back.
I was about to say that. Yeah,
He's
you know
just
he's
like,
jumped out
what
of
am I doing?
so many,
But
yeah.
here he is, obviously there to like make Jen feel more comfortable. Like there's a method to the madness, right? To set the tone. Sometimes the first date, like I always remember a long time ago, one of the head producers told me that they use the first impression rose or the first date to make their villains often, right? Because you put a target on someone's back. Does it always work that way? Not necessarily, right? But so usually when someone gets early attention, they don't know how to handle it. And that can happen with the first impression rose or the group date rose. Sometimes it's different. On my season, like, Danielle had the first one-on-one. That was not for me. That was more for them. She had a very obviously sad, compelling story. I think they wanted to kick things off strong with that story. So there's a lot of, and obviously he's a very likable character. He's a literal hero. I could see him being, your next Bachelor.
Yeah.
Or maybe
I thought he
there's,
was great.
sometimes with the lead, sometimes after night one, they're kind of like, oh, so who do you like? They're like, I don't know, I'm a little nervous, all right? And so maybe I like this person. So they'll move some people to the front because they want their lead to like really get to know the people they're like. So there's a bunch of different reasons why it happens, and it's a collaboration between like what who the lead actually likes. They're the people who are going to get the one-on-ones. It does matter. They're not just going to make them go on with anyone, but whether they go on the first one-on-one or the fourth one-on-one, it doesn't really matter. So they're always going to try to fit what makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
If someone really likes someone really, like the fact that he's the first one-on-one tells me that he's not Jen's number one. Probably it's Sam, right? So Sam's probably going to get a one-on-one week 4, week 5.
So would anyone go skydiving?
Hell yeah.
I would do it.
Yeah, I probably would.
I think I'd say I would, and then I would
You'd go.
back out.
You'd
I would.
go.
I
get-
wouldn't. I wouldn't. Didn't we just see this somewhere? I wouldn't bungee jump. Where did we see that? I feel like we saw
They've done
skydiving
that.
and not bungee
Rob.
jump. No, but it was on
in
Love
Love
Island.
Island.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't bungee jump.
Bungee jump is scary. I've never done that.
I don't want to be upside down.
I would do
By my
anything.
feet,
Well,
like hell.
and it
over
like
a-
whips
connect
you
your
too.
It
joints.
also
Yeah,
feels
no.
very differently. Skydiving, if you haven't done it, I don't know, like what perpetual motion? What? Not perpetual motion.
Centrifugal motion.
I don't know. We're not scientists here, but the Newton's law.
the force.
Once
A body in motion tends to stay in motion.
right? So if you're in an airplane already going 200 miles per hour, when you jump out of the plane, your body is already at a speed of however fast it's going. So it's just a change of direction. So
Oh.
that sense of falling that you feel when you jump out of a skydive or you bungee jump, it's because your body goes from 0 to 100 in a second. That's why you get that feeling of your stomach dropping, because your stomach's still up here while your body's down here. You don't feel that when you're skydiving because you're already in motion. Most people feel like when they're skydiving, there's going to be the sense of falling like you do off a roller coaster. It does not feel like a roller coaster. What it feels like is you stood up in a convertible.
Mm.
It's
Huh.
not scary at all. It's actually so cool. And then when the chute opens up, it's even cooler because then you're Peter Pan floating in the sky. It doesn't even feel like you're moving. You're just like standing in the sky. It's so cool.
It's terrifying. It looks absolutely terrifying.
Final thoughts about The Bachelorette before we get into Love Island.
It's same as every season, but I'm holding on.
Period.
I don't think we've
Agreed.
seen the last of the Devin,
Of course not,
Aaron.
yeah.
I do think Thomas A is
Thomas.
going home next episode.
Probably.
Sam M
Yeah.
is definitely making
Thomas
the
N,
fantasy
you mean?
suites.
I will say, just because I've said it before and I'll say it again, I love Hakeem and I hope he goes all the way.
Same.
Can you imagine if Hakeem wins?
I don't think he's going to.
Oh, no, he's not.
He
but-
won't.
He won't, but I hope he goes as far as
she
he
looked-
can
you.
because he's the best.
His
hi-
facials.
Him
She looked
saying like I'm
embarrassed,
scared of
though.
spiders, but why?
She was like, he's doing too much. So like, I think she's
No.
already weirded out by him.
He was doing just the right amount.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah, are you afraid of spiders?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And how would you want your man to handle spiders?
I would have found that funny.
Okay.
Also, you can always just take a vacuum and vacuum up a spider.
There's no middle ground. I don't want a Rob who's putting spiders on his face, and I
No.
don't want somebody that's like,
Okay, would you rather a Rob who's gonna like have a pet spider or Hakeem who's scared of spiders?
I'm down for Rob.
Rob.
I could play with it too.
A spider shouldn't be a
a
pet.
spider with a snake.
Yeah, a spider definitely should not be a pet. I think it could be fun if we're both screaming, but at the end of the day, I do need you to kill it and or remove it from the vicinity.
Well, he did hold it in the end.
That's true.
He did it.
Like, I think it could be fun for us to be like, ah, like
Yeah.
on the couch, like both screaming together, and then, all right, get the fuck down.
No,
get
you
the fuck
do
out.
it.
now
But,
go kill that
But
thing.
like, I don't need to be like, no, you hold it. Like, I don't need to be pressured into holding any sort of insects, bugs, or amphibians.
I was gonna say Rob wouldn't let you kill a spider.
no, he would not.
no, he
But
would
I also,
add it to the collection.
but he would also make me hold it.
Yeah, he'd be like, "Hey, girl."
He would
You want me
he
to
would be
like
like,
you?
if you want me to get rid of it, you have to put it in your mouth, and I'm not doing that. Speaking of Love Island,
We need to talk about Aaron.
Let's talk about
Let's
it.
talk about Aaron.
Aaron is the villain of this season. I finally figured it out. Despite having a cast that we all love and adore, and I think what makes this show so great is that we get so many episodes that like there's less editing, and you see the good and bad of everyone. You know, they're multi-layered. You know, they're not siloed into characters because of limited time, like you see in so many other shows, like the one we just talked about. And you almost really didn't have a villain, you know, because you have people you root for. It's just like, this is the person I relate to the most. But Aaron is a secret villain. And I think finding out he is 27 years old was alarming to me. And now that I know he's 27 years old, I get very frustrated watching Aaron.
I also think the fact that he's been on TV
Matters.
matters.
And
yeah.
the fact that it was traitors. I
Mhm.
think,
And he won.
and he won. So and the fact that his first time on a reality TV show was a show about gamesmanship and winning money and, you know, being deceitful. You know, it's funny because like Peter, we watched Peter Weber dominate on Traitors, right? And I think even though Peter was very calculated, seemed to be very good at it, I didn't watch Peter on Traitors and think to myself, oh, I'm seeing this different side of Peter. It makes me question how authentic he was as the Bachelor or on the Bachelorette. I didn't think that at all, and I don't think would be accurate to say. That being said, because his first time on reality TV was in the Bachelor world, and I think whatever universe you start on, kind of like that's the world you grow up in. Those are kind of like the rules and lessons in the fandom that you get most familiar with, right? But because Aaron's first time on reality TV was Traitors, I think that does something we have to take into account. Not because it makes him evil or Machiavellian, if for nothing else, that Aaron thinks this is all a game. When you go in Bachelor world, even if you are there for followers or whatever, you are trained to lead with your emotions, to be your most authentic self, to like stop worrying about the outside and just feel, man. And like that is what it's kind of ingrained in you by your peers, by fans, sure, by producers. And so with that mentality, you're more likely to be your most authentic self. If your first in is on Big Brother or Survivor or all these shows that have more, they talk about the gamesmanship of it all, like Aaron is trying to win money. And I feel like Aaron's willing to do or say anything to win money. And I think it's at the demise of Kaylor's feelings. And I kind of think it's so fucked up. And I think there is zero chance. I think there's 100% chance they leave in a relationship and that Kaylor has every intention of trying to make a go of this relationship. Aaron talks about it. And I think there's 100% chance that he's going to break her heart. And I can't wait for the time we get to talk to Kaylor on the show to talk about how it all went down. But it's almost a certainty. I mean, first of all, the guy lives in London, in UK or wherever. And what was it, last Friday or whatever? I get it. I mean, Kaylor, she's young-ish. She's 22. But Kaylor, you got to stop saying things like, I can't be mad at you, and you know that. She was literally telling the guy that you can do this again. Mm-hmm. And when you know you can get away with something, I don't care who you are, as a human being, when you know that if you take the cookie and then eventually you're just going to get a slap on the wrist, you're going to take the cookie. You just are. And Kaylor is literally saying that next time you find yourself in a compromised situation, next time you're out at the clubs, you leave Love Island, you go back to the UK, you're famous, they bring you out, and there's a couple girlies who are giving you attention, and all of a sudden you find one that like you find really pretty, you have a few drinks, and someone's like, just kiss me, Aaron, kiss me. He's gonna do it. He is going to do it.
Do you think do you think they've showed us that he told her he was on Traitors?
That's a good question. Do we know?
We haven't seen any.
Like, I don't know if Love Island would air him talking about being on another show. But
it is Peacock.
Yeah, the one he was on isn't though, because Traitors, the one he was on, I know we saw our Traitors is like it's his celebrities, but my understanding is that
I think it was mentioned to the cast in episode 1.
It was okay.
I think so.
That's interesting. And I mean, I don't think that's going to make Kaylor not date him, but it's an interesting no. Yeah. But I think the fact that and just so you know, again, Aaron wasn't on Celebrity Traitors. I think Traitors when it first came out was just Special Forces used to be out. They're on their 20th season, even though it's their second season in America. And now when it's on Fox, it's always a bunch of public figures or celebrities or former athletes or things like that. But in the UK, the Traitors, the original series, it seems like it was they would just cast people like The Bachelor, Bachelorette, and then if I'm right, and then it sounds like Aaron was also what else was he on? Another
dating show.
Dating show. Did he do the dating show before Traitors?
No, Traitors was his first one, I believe, and then it was the dating show. But I'm also kind of it's like A plus B equals C. I'm doing the show about strategy and manipulation for a cash prize. I don't know if the dating show is for a cash prize, but now this is strategy. Stick with this girl that's going to forgive me no matter what, and maybe walk away with $100,000, because he could also be the one that's first time in maybe U.S. history to be I'm going to keep the money for myself because he has the option. I think they have the option to do that.
I don't think he would do that because I think he does care about people like him. And I don't think he's like some evil Machiavellian person that's like, I don't think he's thinking to himself, I'm going to screw over Kaylor when it comes to the
I think
end.
that's only the woman that gets the option, though, to be
Oh,
honest.
interesting.
Oh.
I just think he is clearly, when he talks, it sounds like a 14-year-old boy talking. I am blown away every time he opens up his mouth and I know that he's 27 years old.
Uh-huh.
His prancing around, like him and Rob, like setting it up. It's just, I don't know. It's
You have
just
a point. Him storming away from movie night and like throwing his mic and then running out, like that was very
childish. It's just like he lacks kind of any emotional depth, and he can't. His whole thing was, it was very like Tom Sandoval. A lot of people are like comparing Rob and Aaron to Tom and Tom. I think it's a bit. I think Rob's an all right guy. I think he's who knows. I mean,
Katie on After Sun specifically said that Aaron was like Schwartz. And that her relationship, Katie's relationship, is similar to what Kaylor's going through.
I think she's more like Sandoval.
I think Katie has a unique perspective of being the one.
She doesn't know Aaron.
No, sure,
I'm
but
curious,
I think
what
she
about,
sees
though?
the same qualities.
She said, I mean, I essentially married my Aaron. Let me be a cautionary tale.
And what are the similarities? I'm curious.
So she wasn't super
think it's-
specific. She
But I
was
think
just
it's the mousing, the like saying what you need to do to get out of a situation, but not being genuine.
Yeah, the like telling Kaylor he loves her.
Yeah, and the seashell necklace. Like it's the stuff like he knows how to
seashell necklace. That gives Tom Sandoval. Like getting upset.
To me,
No,
it's
that gives
Schwartz.
string on a ring.
Yeah,
Ring
gives-
on a string.
Sure.
Schwartz
Really?
with the
Ring on a
dog.
string.
Yeah.
It's a ring
Schwartz
on a
with the dog.
string.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
Like,
it's just like
yeah.
every time he fucks up, he like knows that he's gonna win her back, and like you can even see it in this episode where like they have a side by side going on where Aaron is telling Rob how he's gonna ask Kaylor to be his girlfriend, and he has this whole dinner plan. He's gonna do a poem. Meanwhile, Kaylor is talking to the girls about how she's gonna wait until the outside, and she doesn't think that they should get into a relationship in the villa.
And then 2
And
seconds
then the
later.
second he asks her, she's putty in his hand, as Katie says.
Yeah, he just gives me. I think bad vibes is too strong. I'm sure Aaron's a swell, charming guy, and in person he's probably his affable self. But I think he is very emotionally immature, and he
Agreed,
is
yeah.
fucking with Kaylor's feelings, whether he believes he is or not. And I'm sad for Kaylor because like that when she gets out of the villa, she's gonna hear from all her friends all the shit that she didn't find out on movie night. And then she's still going to forgive him. She is. And they're going to continue to date. And he's going to go back to London. Even like that, it was last night when he goes like, he said something like, I hope I can make her happy in the real world. And he kind of gave you could even tell he didn't believe it. He kind of gave like a, I don't know what the look he gave, but he knew that when he goes back home, there's a 0% chance this is going to work out.
I don't think he likes her that much by the way he treats her.
We
for the
got to
record.
see what he would do with 4 days away from her,
Yeah.
knowing he's going to see her again after 4 days, being 3 houses down the street. What do you think he's going to do when he gets to London?
On camera.
Like that's what
I
I'm
was about to say,
saying.
knowing she'd see the footage.
Like I don't think that he's planning on moving to. Well, actually, I don't know. I don't want to say anything. I don't know.
I did think it was cute that Rob helped with the dinner.
I
Like
really,
that-
sweet.
I
It
that
like
was-
Rob.
That was
I-
brownie points in my eyes.
I
that
like
was
Rob.
sweet.
Rob's a good friend. He's like Cassie said last week. He gives good advice.
Better advice than like I think we
Would expect.
expect.
Yeah.
Can I ask? Does anybody feel like
He doesn't lead people on.
But does he disassociate when he's like sitting talking to Danielle?
Oh, 100%.
I'm like the way that he just like stares out into space while she's talking and has to say 0 words back to her, and he's just like
He does not
But-
care.
He's not fluff. You can call him aloof and kind of a dick and maybe standoffish, but he doesn't seem to be the type of guy who's going to tell a girl what she wants to hear. Clearly Rob knows how to get laid. He's got the riz. He's making out every fucking night, and it's always like weirdly like one of these things where like next day even maybe he's just a bad kisser or has bad breath. I don't know, but there doesn't seem to be like a strong connection. It's like, yeah, that was fun to make out with Rob, and like he seems again to be the type of guy who doesn't need to lead anyone on. If anything, he might even be saying like, I don't know, I'm probably not your guy, but that was fun, and like
People are saying that they've recognized or they've seen this handshake that Aaron does with Kaylor and then Aaron did with Daniela.
yeah.
They've seen it before on Traders.
Check this
No.
out. Check this out.
Oh.
Is this the same handshake?
No, yeah, he
Right
probably
there.
does this with everyone.
He probably does.
So she's just
Is
one
it
of the
the
bros.
pinky link kiss thing?
Yeah.
but as he said, that's just
It's
right
locking
there.
it in.
It's just locking it in.
Oh, he friend zoned her. Like she's just another bro in his eyes.
Yeah, this is something he does all the time, and which wouldn't be a problem, except that he sells it to these
And he
women
makes-
as unique.
He made Kaylor feel as if it was special, and if
Mhm.
he made it up with her just for her, and they had this thing, and
Rob
it
would
was just them.
I don't think Rob would do that. Do you?
No, I don't. No,
I don't think Rob,
think
like,
so.
Rob is just,
Rob
He
is
just
childish
does
too,
it.
though,
He
I will
doesn't-
say.
Sure.
Like when he rolls his eyes every 2
Ye-
seconds, I'm like, girl, keep those in the
Yeah.
back.
I don't think Rob and Aaron are going to stay friends.
No, probably not. Well, maybe.
I think for a while, and when you become friends with someone in a reality TV bubble, you will know if they're actually friends, if you're still friends a year after getting out of filming. Because it's like, when you make friends in that world, whether you realize it or not, it's for self-preservation. You need friends. You know what I'm saying? Like part of making friends and the closest is the intensity and the bond and the things that you go through. And
It's like an affirmation that you went through that.
yeah. And then when you get out, and then sometimes you become friends or become, like it's a little bit more in Bachelor Nation. Bachelor Nation, very cliquey. You have like the house, which I always say is the bully, and then you have some outsiders, and then people are just like, well, you can't be friends with them. And after the dust settles and people kind of go their separate ways, like a lot of times people stay friends for relevancy. They do the TikTok dances together and things like that. And when that all goes away, if you still get a call, if you're still planning trips a year after the fact, then you have something real.
A good moment I liked of Rob too was Rob and Leah talking and like
Yes.
kind of reconciling their differences. I thought it was actually like a really sweet, mature
Oh,
moment.
I was so hoping they were going to get back together.
They still might.
Rob's sister was like a TikTok somewhere, and she's team Leah and Rob.
I'm team Leah and Rob.
I
I think if they get back together, they will win.
Why?
Because
I that would make me so disappointed in Love Island fan
No.
base.
I kind of like
How
Leah
could
and
you-
Miguel.
Wait,
I
what-
like them,
How
but
is it not
no.
Cordell and Serena?
Duh.
They're the only people
Because-
that actually look like they have a thing.
Yeah.
But Rob and Leah are like that classic, like
Sure, they're hot. They look good
no,
But
they're
like, is it
the
classic or
lover-
toxic?
No, they're like they've been separated, but they've secretly still loved each other this whole
together.
time.
There's no
Yeah.
love at all in this relationship whatsoever.
I do think they're going to
Yeah.
get back together, but I think Janae and Kenny are going to win.
Oh, I do love Janae. And
No, I
Kenny,
think Serena
too.
and Cordell
Because-
should win.
because Kane said so.
Well, Kane said so, but like a lot of people online are like siding with Janae and Kenny. Like
I
they have
mean-
like an unproblematic like kind of path.
Yeah, I think Janae and Kenny are fine. I think Serena and Cordell should win
I
and
don't want
will
un-
win,
I
but
Yeah, I don't want unproblematic. I want an actual chance at being in a relationship.
Well, I
People
will
who've
say
been through hardship, they worked through it, they came back, they're stronger than ever. They're now like that is who you want to root
That's
for.
a good point.
Leah
When
and
they
Rob.
when they do the whole like couples at the end and they show like the pairing, they're the only two with their heads touching.
Cordell and Serena?
Yes.
Oh.
Everyone else is standing like, prom.
I have noticed the prom part.
And,
yeah.
Justin did send an interesting tweet though of Rob's like evolution throughout the season, and he had the biggest smile with Leah.
And then every relationship after he
But do
stopped
we think that's
smiling.
because that was his first date on the
Yes.
island, and now it's like month 2, and he's exhausted?
I
and
think he's over it. He's like, get me out of here.
I
wrap it
don't
up."
think Rob likes Leah.
No.
Well, he definitely
Well,
doesn't like Daniela. That's for
No,
damn
he doesn't
sure.
like
definitely
her.
does not like. I think he should have gone home with
Andrea.
Yeah.
I think he thinks Leah's fine
Leah's
fine as
fine.
a friend, but I
I
think
see the spark.
where?
I just think that they're like the that couple that like can't be together but wants to be together, knows they shouldn't be but wants to be.
Maybe.
I don't explain it. I just feel like they have something.
Well, Kane went on a live following leaving the show and kind of went off and said he thought that Kendall and Nicole were the fakest relationship. He also said Nicole
I don't disagree with
and
that.
Kaylor, which that may be harder to believe. And that's only believable if he's speaking from a position of Aaron.
Wait, he said
You mean
Nicole
Aaron
and
and
Kaylor.
Kaylor?
What?
Also fake.
You mean Aaron and Kaylor?
Both.
Yeah.
What?
He said
Aaron-
both those couples were fake.
Okay.
Got it. So not Kendall. Or
Kendall and Nicole.
And Aaron
And
and
Aaron
Aaron.
and
Kaylor.
Kaylor. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't disagree.
He was chatting though. He was going off
Well,
on his live.
I mean, I disagree because fuck, you know what I'm saying? Like that's real.
Fuck, Aaron.
Like my heart goes out to her. Like you see those
fuck.
puffy eyes. She was crying. She's such a sweetheart. And,
Where is
like,
she from?
You can get Pittsburgh. Uh,
Damn.
Okay.
I need her liquid eyeliner.
All right, grab the flashcard.
Because she's what I think a Valley girl would be.
That's yeah.
Just by the way she speaks about everything.
But she's genuine and she's sincere, and maybe she's a little naive, but she's leading with her heart, and
She is.
I appreciate that.
She definitely is. Yes.
Yeah, she's making some foolish choices, but she's not being set up for success. And no one's giving her sage advice.
Speaking of someone not set up for success, we kicked off Liv and then brought on Harrison.
I know.
What?
I know.
Why?
They would have been such a hot
So much
Australian
chemistry.
couple.
Genuinely.
I can tell you why.
For my frustration?
Sure, but they brought in Harrison to go on
To break up the couple.
to break up the couple, not to fall in love with Liv. And so
He's so
Yeah.
hot.
yeah.
Stir up some drama. Him saying he pierced his
Ear.
his own ear, and then Sierra responding with her piercing her own nipples is
Not the same, in my opinion.
Is that not a normal thing?
To pierce
Or
your
not
own
normal, but like
nipples?
I know many of people that have pierced their own like body parts.
Like ear.
I think ears
belly
you
button
definitely
even.
Like a
pierce your
septum, the
own.
little flap inside of the mouth.
What do you
like
mean
I
a
know
little flap?
Your smiley. I had
Yeah.
that pierced.
Up
You
here?
did the fulcrum?
Your smiley
yeah,
pierced. Yeah,
she did it herself.
There's a
When
name
I
for
did not
this?
do it myself.
This is a
but
fulcrum.
Inside. It's
Why
inside.
do you do
inside.
that?
Yeah, I don't know. It was a phase.
Nobody
okay?
can see it.
Because you're 18.
When you smile, you say that's why it's called your smiley.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh,
I
you
learned-
got the the
It's-
gum.
The piece
Inside.
that connects your lip to your gum.
Did it ever get
Oh
infected?
my.
No, it never got infected.
And it had like a bull ring kind of thing.
Mhm.
No, it was just a straight bar.
A bar?
When you smile, it was just like a bar
wow.
underneath your lip.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
fucking know.
That sounds painful.
But I also did have my nipples pierced before I gave birth to my child. I took them out before.
I've heard of
because
that. You can't
you have
have
to
it.
breastfeed. But it honestly, that was something that made me so incredibly confident. And if anyone is on the fence, it made me incredibly confident, but also was the worst pain of my entire life. And I cannot imagine doing it to myself.
The nipple piercing.
Absolutely.
Because when you take your shirt off, it gets caught.
Not
right?
even.
Yeah.
That itself, I mean, like the piercing itself, the most painful, probably more painful than giving birth.
Can I
my.
ask, do they like clamp it and then like shoot the needle
Yes.
through it? So you're just watching this and you were like, I'll do it again.
And that's
Well, she
the
was already
thing.
pot committed.
That's what I was saying. I was like,
Well-
one run, I'd be like, all right, I'm good.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah,
why
yeah.
there's a handful of people out there that have the one nipple? Because it's like, fuck it, I'm out.
I
Yeah.
did it.
I know someone who got one, and then she was like, "I can't. I was so painful, I couldn't do the other."
I came, I saw it, I did it.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah,
Danny got one nipple pierced. He lost a bet, but
yeah.
Is it still pierced?
lost
But
a
the
bet.
fact,
Yeah,
the
it's
fact that
still
Sierra did it
pierced.
Do you
herself
like it?
is crazy.
I'm just like,
Do you play with it?
no,
Ew.
absolutely not.
Sierra is ballsy for doing it herself.
No.
That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I had to have someone, and I wouldn't have done it if I had to do it myself.
Have you ever tried to
incredibly
wax
painful.
yourself?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
Like I.
But once it's on there, you got to get it off.
I
You can't live like
know.
that.
Oh my
so you
God.
gotta.
Yeah, what did you do?
Well, no, the first time I tried to wax myself, I got really sweaty. Like I put it on and then I was like, oh fuck. Like I have to rip this off. And it took me like 10 minutes to like rev myself up to do it. But
I
yeah,
used-
once it's on, there's no way to take it off other than to
I mean,
do
I
it.
used to get full on like bikini waxes, and
same,
that
but
also
it's so different when you're
Or-
doing it yourself.
I couldn't. That's I think the difference of like having someone do it to you and doing it yourself, which why I think the fact that Sierra pierced her nipples is crazy. And
Yeah.
like she must be the strongest bitch alive.
Yes, absolutely.
And I envy her in her strength.
I agree.
I do think After Sun needs a bigger couch.
Oh my God.
I don't know if y'all have seen that, but the
No, I
six
took
of
a
them on that
screenshot
couch.
of it and sent it to the group. I was just like, excuse me.
Kane was like sitting on the table. There was no like space on
He
the
was.
couch.
Kane was fully sitting on the side
I kind of
table.
like it. They're just like, fuck it, you know?
I was also going to say
Yeah.
that was kind of intentional because I feel like there's a very nice gap between Maura and the rest of the people on the couch. So it's like very much like the host is over here and then all of you sit here.
All right. Well, a lot of burning questions, and I think we are finally ready to talk to our queen, Liv. I think Love Island Nation is heartbroken.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure she has a lot to say. Let's get it straight from the person's mouth. Liv, everybody. Caraway. As a home chef, we take pride in the tools that we use to make delicious meals, and that's why we have been a Caraway family for going on 4 years now. Everything about Caraway we love. Most importantly, it is safe to cook on. That's right. They don't use those toxic materials like the PFAs, the PTFEs, the PFAs, those other hard-pronounced chemicals that so many other pots and pans that are available for purchase have, which is scary. So why not make sure that you're cooking on safe material that your family can feel good about? Also, it's super easy to clean on, which Natalie loves. Also, they look nice. And if you are a cook or like a little home chef, like I consider myself to be, not like an actual chef, but like someone who likes the whiz in the kitchen, you want something that cooks evenly, not non-stick, things like that. Like you can't be someone who likes to cook and then use like cheap pots and pans. And the thing about Caraway, very affordable, unbelievably affordable for the quality that they are.
They're also well loved. Over 65,000 people have rated 5 stars about their Caraway kitchen, and now it's time for you to try for yourself.
And we did the math, and their internet famous cookware set comes with the saute pan, the fry pan, the Dutch oven, and saucepan, plus lids and storage. It's the ultimate kitchen setup. Plus, we did the math, and the cookware set will save you $150 versus buying the items individually. Plus, if you visit carawayhome.com/Viall10, that's Viall10, you can take an additional 10% off your next purchase. This deal is exclusive for our listeners, so visit carawayhome.com/Viall10, that's Viall10, and use code VIALL10 at checkout. Caraway, non-toxic cookware made modern. Dreamland baby, we love our Dreamland baby, and we love our daughter, and she sleeps in it every night, and she has graduated to the next size up, and we made sure that we ordered one because it is a must-have if you want your baby to have that soothing night's sleep. It's that comforting hug that your baby has throughout the night.
The Dreamland Sleep Sack is a weighted sleep sack. It distributes weight evenly from shoulders to toes. It has a 2-way zipper from the bottom and from the top, so in the middle of the night, diaper changes are incredibly easy. But what we love so much about Dreamland Baby is that it gives your baby that sense of comfort. It gives them that weight that feels like maybe a hug or your hand on them. It makes them feel, like
it's time to go to bed. And they always say it's all about routine when it comes to your baby. And when we put River in the Dreamland Sleep Sack, she knows it's time to have those sweet dreams. If you have a baby who sleeps, you need to give them the Dreamland Baby Sleep Sack. Go to dreamlandbabyco.com and enter our code VIALL at checkout to receive 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. This offer is for new and existing customers. Again, that's dreamlandbabyco.com and enter our code VIALL at checkout to receive 20% off site-wide plus free shipping. All right, well, unfortunately, Natalie had to leave to go take care of her baby, River. She's super sad about it because she was such a huge fan of our next guest. She is the queen, or one of the queens, of Love Island USA, Liv!
Woo!
Hi, guys.
Hi, welcome to the Viall Files. We're so happy to be talking with you. I'm so sad that you left, first of all. Do you realize how popular you are in Love Island USA history?
I don't really, it hasn't hit me yet. To be honest, in the villa, I thought that I was maybe not a favorite or not loved. Coming out, I was a little nervous, but seeing everyone's response and stuff, I'm definitely extremely grateful, but it still pinched me moments for sure.
Many of you also have referred to you as the Australian Barbie of Love Island USA. But so how did the Australian Barbie end up on Love Island USA? Because doesn't Love Island have an Australian version? There's a UK version. How did this all come to be?
So we definitely have an Australian one. Last year, I had a casting member reach out to me from the US team, seeing if I wanted to do it. I was in college at FAU for a bit, so I think she found me kind of that way. I believe someone who won it 2 years ago or last year was from the same college, so she may have found me like that, but they reached out to me due to reasons I just didn't do it last year. And then this year, I was like, let's give it another shot. And next thing I knew, I was in Fiji.
That's amazing. Let's just start with the most burning question. I think obviously, maybe, I don't know how long you've been asked about it, but what actually went down when you all sent Andrea home? All the back and forth between you and Leah. I honestly not even sure whether that became a thing or whether that, even continued to be a thing, because ultimately, I think what I love so much, and I think why a lot of people love this, especially original cast, were the bonds and the friendships. So many other shows, you have like these heroes and villains, and it's almost as if cast knows they're supposed to not get along, but here it really seemed like there's a genuine care between you all. But for whatever reason, you and Leah, when it came to this sending Andrea home, like could not get on the same page. Do you still feel like Leah pushed that, or after leaving, the island, have you kind of rethought your stance? Like, how do you see it now?
So I had no idea that situation was so big until like I had all friends and family being like, why did you send her? Like what? Who was rooting more? And I was like, oh, I didn't realize we're still on that topic. But I don't regret anything I said or did in the villa. Definitely like the way I said stuff and how I went about it was definitely something I could have changed. But how we decided, okay, I'm trying to put this in like, because I haven't watched anything yet. So I don't know what you guys have seen, but I was very much like, I don't want Nene going home. I think she's had the short end of the stick. She's been trying really hard. That's what Love Island's about. So she going into it, I was like, nah, not going to send her home. So she was out of the question. Then we had Nicole and Andrea. And it honestly, I believe I've seen TikTok things. We were talking for so long, all of us. We weren't just that little snippet you guys saw.
Yeah.
It was a long time because obviously it's like people's lives we're making a decision for. So we didn't want to take it lightly, but we all went through each individual and what their like positives and negatives were. And then we came to the conclusion of what we thought Love Island was about and testing relationships and stuff. And when it came down to it, we thought that Andrea didn't do that at that certain time period. So it just got unfortunate that when she came in, that's what the decision was about. But I love Leah to death, and I feel like we're both very vocal people, and we will all stay, and still to this day that we all came to the decision at the end of the day, and we all voted Andrea, and it wasn't going to be put one person more than the other. But there was definitely, we did a vote, and there was definitely, Serena was more one side, Kayla was more one side, Leah was more one side, I was more one side. So in the terms of that backseat comment, I think it came from the point that it's like no one was backseat. Everyone had their own opinion and who they wanted to get out. And that's why that comment came out. But yeah.
What was Leah's opinion of who should go out?
So we came to the decision that Love Island is about testing what you have and not being so closed off straight away, because as we see, so many of them went through tests and they came out 10 times stronger. So when we came to the decision, her and the same as Serena and Kayla, they were all more on the fact that at that point in time, Andrea wasn't, to our belief, as open to get to know new bombshells as some of the other couples were. And maybe we took Andrea's words out of context and we took it quite literally when she was like, no, I'm happy and fine. But I still, at the end of the day, was also voting for Andrea to go home. So I'm not going to sit here and lie and say I wasn't non-Andrea at all. But yeah.
I know you said you don't regret what you said, but knowing this all, I mean, I'm guessing at this point, you're probably like, why the fuck are we even talking about this? Even if it was for that reason, to be like, this wasn't worth the conversation that we're having now. If you could go back in time and just not make that comment to Rob, would you have just not made that comment to Rob? Or would you still make that comment?
The one up on the balcony with Kayla?
Well, basically kind of suggesting that Leah might have been like pulling the strings a little bit more than the others.
Yeah, looking back, I definitely could have worded it better. I mean, it's a very hot situation in there. Like, that is your support system. That's everything you know. So little information get turned into like extreme situations and cases.
Yeah.
But at that point in time, I felt like it was super hard decision for us to send Andrea home. And I felt like I backed the girls on the decision the entire time and was the one being vocal to the boys and stuff. So when I heard that she was implying that it was taking a back seat, I think I just jumped with it and ran with his word and like didn't hear her out. So
you know,
yeah,
that's a good point though. That's a good point that Liv is making. This all started when Leah was like, I took a back seat, and it felt like, Liv, you were more reacting to Leah saying that rather than coming out and being like, I want you all to know that Leah really went out of her way to send Andrea home. And I feel like that's something we're all kind of forgetting a little bit almost.
It definitely, the whole thing for me started off with the backseat comment. And when speaking to Rob up there, like he had his own conversations he wanted to talk to Leah about and asked us out of respect if he could talk to her first. Hence why we stepped back, and it wasn't until the fireplace came up that I was like, well, if you're going to bring me involved, I want to know about this too. Why are you saying this? And looking back on it, I should have probably just pulled her aside and been like, why is this being said? Because as we all know, you didn't take a back seat. Neither did Serena, neither did Kayla, neither did I. Like everyone themselves were very vocal, and everyone at the end of the day had to say who they thought and why they thought that person. And to me, that's not someone who takes a back seat.
I've decided I'm Team Liv here.
Okay.
Well, because I'm thinking in that moment.
No, Liv is Leah team. No,
I mean, listen, we absolutely love Leah. We absolutely love her. So, but obviously, it's a reality TV. We're just having fun. But like, I'm thinking if I were in Liv's shoes, if I hear someone like saying, "Oh, they said they were taking a back seat and they were equal participants in this," I would have spoken up. Like, I would have been like, "The hell she was," you know? Like, and I feel like that's what you did, and that turned in, and it almost became Liv calling out Leah rather than Liv responding to something Leah said.
Yeah, I feel like that was definitely the situation, and it got blurred into all of like Rob and Leah's like whole situation going on. But I definitely think I should have just pulled her aside earlier and been like, hey, why the hell are you saying this? And not had the whole fire pit go off in flames.
Yeah, what do you Thanks for the good drama. We appreciate it. Speaking of Rob, there was a moment where Rob, and maybe you're not even aware about this because you didn't talk about it, but like there was a moment, I forget, way back when Rob all of a sudden was like, man, Liv's looking hot and there's something about her and she's quirky and fun. And like we all thought like, Rob and Liv, this is going to happen. And then like, I don't know, it was a Casa more the next day or something. It felt, is that what it was? Mm-hmm. Was there any possibility of you and Rob, or was that just kind of Robin?
Well, he told you he liked you, right? Like you guys sat down together and kind of told each other that you were feeling each other a little bit. And then there was Casa. So why didn't you revisit that when you guys came back?
I feel like Rob is a good friend of mine. I mean, I haven't seen the episodes or anything back. I have seen some stuff and I'm like, oh, okay. Wonder why people are thinking this way, but he's still a good friend of mine. I feel like when I came in, I was so nervous. Like, I don't even think you understand how nervous I was. And I wasn't maybe myself. And I feel like he wasn't himself as well. So it didn't really work out then and there. So when I started to get to know him a bit more, I was like, oh, his personality's better. Like, at the end of the day, I always wanted to go him at the start because I found him attractive. But I think coming into Casa, we were both just single. Everyone else was coupled up, like lovey-dovey. So I think it was just like bouncing off everyone else's energy that, I don't know, I think we're just friends. So
yeah,
I would say that we didn't,
Are you familiar with Harrison?
I've heard about him.
Yeah. I think a lot of people had been waiting for, the people running the show, so to speak, to bring in a bombshell for you. It seemed like, there just wasn't a match for Liv. You became everyone's best friend. And was like, all right, let's take care of our girl here. Let's bring in a bombshell for Liv. Then they bring in this like Australian, handsome Liam Hemsworth type of guy right after you leave. And it was like, what the fuck? Like, what could have been like with the... So you're not even...
I know.
Yeah. Do you know what he looks like?
Yeah, I've seen photos of him and like he's gorgeous.
Yes.
And I've seen little like after sun moments and like he seems funny and articulated, which I love. And I was like, they did me dirty.
Yes.
Setting him up to me.
Yeah.
So like, come on, guys.
I'm concerned for your girl, Kayla.
Oh. Please tell me your thought.
Well, listen, Aaron seems like a lovable guy and all, but I found out over the weekend that person is a 27-year-old man. And I thought I was watching a 21-year-old boy up until recently. And I was just alarmed by it. It's just like, and now when I'm watching Aaron and I'm seeing and I know that he's 27 years old, my brain breaks every time I see it. And then I find out, oh, he won Traitors. I come from, I don't know if you know anything about The Bachelor, but I come from that world, right? So that was my first time on reality TV. but like you're kind of like trained almost to like really lead with your emotions and fall in love and really just embrace the atmosphere, kind of like on Love Island. But like Aaron's first experience on reality TV is to like be gamey and play for the money and be tactical. And the more I learn about Aaron, the more I'm just like this, there's 100% chance because like, you know, Kayla's so sweet. And I get it. Like, I know people get frustrated because she keeps forgiving him, but like she's in love and what is she supposed to do? Like, I think there's 100% chance they will try to start a relationship outside in the real world. And there's another 100% chance that he's going to break her heart because like, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Am I wrong? Am I misreading Aaron? Like, is there like, cause to me, it just seems like this is bad news for our girl. And her heart is going to break even harder when he goes back to the pond and be like, well, this is how I felt and I'm entitled to my feelings. And, you know, like,
It's my life too.
It's my life too. And he starts crying, you know, and it's just like, I'm sorry you're crying. And I don't know. It just
storms off of the Zoom call.
Off and rips his mic off. And all of a sudden Kayla's going to be apologizing. Anyways, what are your thoughts?
My mom and dad have been asking me this question all the time. And I'm like, Mom, and like, you guys have seen more than me. Like, I haven't seen anything from Casa. I've heard that we didn't even see the worst of it.
Correct.
So that like breaks my heart because I love her. She's so sweet. Like, she is someone that puts someone else's feelings before herself. And I think that happened a lot at the end of the day. I think Aaron's a nice guy. He's great and fun. I don't know if I personally trust him. Like, he did win a show about like convincing other people he wasn't a traitor or something. Like, that's, you won it. He didn't just participate, he won it. I mean, like, that's very questionable. I feel like my opinions kind of changed around him. I'd managed to say I don't think he's an awful guy at all. He's very lovely and stuff. But when he was given the chance to tell her everything, when she took him back at the start of Casa, he lied and didn't say anything and said that he forgot or didn't remember. Like, so you don't forget telling a girl you love her.
Yeah. Also, it turns out that handshake did it on Traders.
No way.
Yeah, some version of it. Yeah.
We just watched a clip.
Yeah.
Also, he was a faithful, but he still won.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Aaron doesn't look like a bad guy to me. He looks immature. His best defense seems to me is that like he just doesn't take Kayla's feelings seriously. Like, he thinks this is all a show or a game and it's like not that serious. Meanwhile, Kayla's like, I'll marry you tomorrow if you ask. Like, and she truly cares about, and like, these are real feelings that like Serena and Kayla are having. And like some of these guys, I mean, Cardell seems to have really come around, but like Aaron just seems like it's all fun and games and it's like not that serious. And it's definitely serious for Kayla. And my heart breaks for what I'm almost certain is going to happen. And it's just, it makes me so sad.
Yeah, like, we were definitely like having questions in our head. And like Nicole and I were trying to say to her, like, we love that you are so open and see the best in people, but you got to remember at the end of the day, like, he's throwing around words that you were like not building the courage to say to him, but like so excited to say to him. And like the fact that he was so easy to throw around, like, let's have a shower, or like how romantic some of the things were, like when he brought Daniela breakfast and he'd kiss her in front of everyone. Like, they were really romantic gestures. And it kind of like, to my belief, implied like that they had known each other for a while and that was like an ongoing thing, not just a 4-day. Plus, he doesn't live in America. So if he can't keep his hands off a girl for 2 days, like,
yeah, what's he going to do when he's more famous? Yeah, and every girl at the club is taking a picture with him or a selfie and yada, yada, yada. And like Kayla's already said to him, I can't stay mad at you, which is like, I know she doesn't realize this or mean it, but like she literally in that moment gave him permission to do it again because, as I said earlier, like, if you know you're not, if you know they will forgive you, you're always going to take the cookie. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just going to be like, oh, well, what do I get? What? I get yelled at for 6 seconds? No problem. I'll take the cookie. Like, you will. It's human nature.
Like, yeah, I certainly like at the recoupling, like when he was like, we'll talk later, like he definitely knew that Serena, me, Nene, Nicole, Leah, like we would rip him almost to shreds.
Yeah.
And he was like, that's the thing that really bothered me about him is because he knows he can sweet talk her. Mm-hmm. And he'll throw things like in that, like, oh, like they were having a fight. And then he was like, oh, I don't know what to say. I love you too.
Mhm.
And I'm like, you're just saying that.
Yeah.
Like,
He wouldn't even.
this girl's been
yeah.
coming in the change rooms being like, guys, I think I might say to him, I love you, like, for a while, like, and being like, should I not? And you've just thrown it out there to kind of win her over, not kind of, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. Don't hurt my girl Kayla, because
Yeah, I don't know. I think Aaron's the villain of the season, if there is one. The more I learn, and I liked
but
him
it's
so
his
much.
experience. You know how you kept saying, but it's my experience.
Yep.
He's so dismissive to like people's real feelings, and the only excuse I can give him is either too immature or too desensitized from reality TV to give a shit. And it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I feel like the situation of Love Island, like, you get caught out for being fake, unless you're really good at it, because like the cameras are hidden. Like, I genuinely forgot. So it kind of worries me that he still acts kind of that way.
Yeah. No, it's I hope I'm wrong. I just don't think I am when it comes to Aaron.
Same, I hope I'm right.
Kane recently also went off the show. You had a cup of coffee with him, but he also seemed to like run his mouth a little bit. I don't know if you've seen any of this.
I've seen little bits. I'm like, you're gonna get in trouble, mate.
Is there anything he said that you disagree with? I think specifically, he called Kendall and Nicole the fakest couple. What are your thoughts on Kendall and Nicole? Do you think that was a little harsh, or do you see where he's coming from? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think obviously everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Kane wasn't in there very long. So I think calling someone fake is a very like strong statement, to know someone for like 3 days. I don't think they're fake. They are like so the same person. It's kind of scary. Like, they're both obsessed with Star Wars. They both do the same sort of job. Like, they both have the same, like, it's literally copy and paste. So I don't think they're faking it at all, because every time they see each other, it's like a spark, green lights. Like, they're literally all over each other 24 hours a day. So, I mean, they've got to be the best fakers in the world.
Okay. Thanks for easing our minds.
Yeah, they're good.
Leah here, she keeps thinking that somehow, some way, Rob and Leah will find their way back to each other. I think, and I'm joking when I say this, but I think Rob kind of hates Leah as dating potential, and he's just being nice about it. And I don't think there's any way they get back together. Who do you think is more right? Or maybe there's an actual truth which is like, can you shed some light on the potential that is Rob and Leah? And because Leah here thinks like if they got back together, they'd win. I think that's blasphemy.
Absolutely.
I think they'd win too if they got back together.
You do?
I don't know if they, yeah, because like everyone's been rooting for them. I don't think they would, but I did see a TikTok that was like me like joining in the TikTok goss. I'm like, and it was like this new bombshells coming in who might go for Miguel, which then would lead like Leah and Rob going together. And I was like, oh my God, like living for this juicy goss. But I think what Leah and Miguel have is like so sweet. And she finally is like herself and like calm and not always stressed. I think they definitely still like each other a bit. How can you not? Like, once you like someone and it gets cut, like I feel like you never really liked them if you can drop feelings that easily.
You just made Leah's day.
I feel so seen.
Do you think they'll go back together?
I do. I feel like they have just something that, as a viewer, it seems to me, and maybe you could shed some light on this as somebody who's been around them and knows them, but to me, it feels like there's a spark there still.
Yeah, I can see how you guys see that. Like, there's definitely like a rough patch, but they're very dry humor and they're very quite witty, both of them. As much as Rob doesn't really talk, like they're kind of the same in that way. So they bounce off each other. So you can kind of see a little bit of like, maybe it's flirting, maybe it's just conversational. But I still thought that Andrea was coming back in Casa. So I think I thought he still had feelings for her. So I don't know about the Leah sitch.
Yeah, I mean, Rob really has been floating ever since Andrea left. Yeah, he liked Danielle for a second. Oh, did you realize just how much Aaron pitched Rob about Daniela?
I had no idea. Like, my cousin was watching every single thing and she was like, did you know that like Aaron told Rob to go for Andrea and bring her back, and how obsessed they were? I had none. All I've seen is what was on movie night, and apparently that is not even half of it.
That was a
So
hard
I
sell.
don't know.
Yeah.
The situation is so messy.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a hard sell. Serena and Cordell is charming, as lovely as they're my absolute favorite couple. I'm obsessed with them. Are they real?
oh my God, it's so real. I said the entire time, I think Serena and the way she's handled things is like, I relate so much, but I think so realistic.
Yes.
Like having some walls up, not going. It's so easy for a show and like for people on Love Island to be like, I love you, like throw it, like hugging, kissing all the time. But I feel like that couple is like really like she's not opening up straight away because why? And she might be not as love language, physical touch to him straight away as like other couples does. And people look at it, I feel, and they say like, oh, that's not as strong. But I think their couple is the strongest.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like not just surface level. I love them. I'm rooting for them.
Oh, I'm rooting for them so hard. I agree with you. Like I'm a big fan of all you ladies. There's something about Serena that I just really respected, her ability to set and enforce a boundary the way she did. And just, she was so upfront and so chill, wise beyond her years, because she's pretty young too. It's, but like,
yeah, she's like 24.
I mean, like you put Serena next to Aaron and it is like two different generations of like people. Like Serena comes across as like a mature, seasoned person, and like Aaron comes across as if like he was grown in a lab and thrown out to the real world and told to interact with human beings. That's how Aaron comes across. I'm like, it's so upset. And I'm not even trying to talk shit about the guy. It's just like, it's so frustrating how aloof he is to other people's feelings. And he's not an idiot. He's not stupid. He's clearly a smart guy.
It's just insane to me. Like, I literally love Serena. She's not only like the funniest human being ever, like her one-liners are just insane. But Cordelia and Casa, like I was not a massive fan of, but she's very much someone who would rather laugh than cry. And you could tell how much she really liked him when during the Casa time, she was so heartbroken, especially after receiving that video.
I mean, listen, Cordell definitely fucked up, but I give Cordell more of a pass just because, like, emotionally, it felt like Serena was more in control and kind of had the power dynamic, which kind of made Cordell kind of like, well, I don't really know where I stand. Maybe you should have known a little bit more. Where like Aaron has always been in the driver's seat. Like he's always known where Kayla stood, and he from my end, took advantage of the power he had in that relationship. Where Cordell, it's kind of like he probably should have known better, but I could see a world where his insecurities got the best of him, where like this had nothing to do with Aaron's insecurities. It had everything to do with him being a fuckboy.
Yeah, literally. That is perfectly said.
Is Miguel as awesome as he seems?
I love Miguel.
Yeah.
He is, he's one of my favorite boys in there.
Miguel seems like, he comes in, he presents, here's this suave guy. I don't know if I should trust him. He's a player, but he seems like wonderfully upfront about his intentions. And like, you just know where the guy stands. It's like, all right, you're going to do what you're going to do. At least I know. Like, I'll take a guy like that all day long, I feel like.
Yeah, he is. Also, when he first came in, we were like, yeah, fuck boy. Like, obviously he's attractive, nothing like that. But he is like the biggest softie at heart. Like, he's also so wise. But like when him and Leah he made like a little comment one time. I don't know if anything was shown, but at the table, and he kind of like didn't mean it in that way. And he went to like make a smoothie for her and then quickly like pull her up and was like, I didn't mean it, and had this like romantic chat and everything. So he's deeply a softie at heart. He is honestly a great guy and so good for Leah.
Oh, that's good. Any other kind of little Miguel and Leah nuggets that you can share? Because we aren't seeing a lot of them. They aren't.
Oh,
yeah, we're seeing a chat here or there every once in a while. It's like Miguel. They both kind of say, "I can be myself around you," and they smile, but we're not really seeing the layers.
Yeah, we see them making out in bed and then Kane leaving and going to sleep outside.
Yeah. What? Yeah. Are there other nuggets about like why we should be team Leah and Miguel?
I'm rooting for them. I have no one winner, but I'm rooting for them as well because they are so comfortable around each other. Like they're very mature in the way that they handle situations that bother them, and they're just literally bounce off each other. Every time you're around them, there's like kind of like energy, and like there's not really anyone. They're kind of like, how do I put this? Light up the room when those two come in. Like no matter what's going down, they will change the situation to be funny and lighthearted. But I wish they showed more of them because they're also obsessed with each other. Like I would say Nicole and Kendall and Leah and Miguel are like, he won't leave her side. Like he's there like her protecting like soldier.
Interesting. Yeah. Never would have thought that.
We have an elimination, or like I think it's America's favorite couple vote coming up. Who do you think's gonna win, and who do you think's gonna be sent home?
I think Cordell and Serena will win, but I think Nene and Kenny will be very close.
Okay.
And then sent home, I think, will be Sierra and Harrison.
Do they?
It's just they're so
Are they
new.
safe?
They're so new. I was like, do they count?
Do they count?
Sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Do
They are
count
part of
this-
the vote.
Okay.
They're part of
Sometimes
the
when
vote.
it's new couples, they'll be like they're
Yeah.
excluded from.
No, they
elimination.
were part of the vote. Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah,
But we'll
probably.
see.
Yeah, I don't know if no one's really invested in them.
They're just too new.
Yeah.
Like people
Yeah.
coming in that late are
They're
just
too new.
Yeah.
They don't have it. Yeah. I've only watched one season where someone from Casa was in the winning couple.
Oh,
But that's all I've seen.
When-
There's probably been more.
When you went home, Liv, did you absolutely know you were going home, or were you hoping there was going to be some kind of last minute switch up, or that Rob would pick you or save you, or did you kind of just know it was coming? We cried. Like Nally and I cried.
oh, thank you.
It was so
No, I
sweet.
kinda, like,
Yeah.
when it was the recoupling, like when Ariana said it was going to be recoupling, I kind of knew like it was going to have to be like a miracle for someone to like might have had a fight that I had no idea about. It was so off them, but I kind of knew, and I feel like I was prepared and happy that I kind of went out on like a good note, and seeing all the girls' reaction and stuff, I was like, it's fine. I'm going to see you very soon. I'm not someone who can fake it. Like you'll see it on my face. And I feel like that kind of got a little bit confused during the show, but I was there to find love, and I'm not just going to stay for the sake of someone. Like I'm going to test it out. And if there's nothing there, I'm going to keep it moving. So I wasn't really shocked.
Is it maybe a TMI question? I don't know if you're allowed to answer it, but at this point, are people having sex?
When I was in there, no one had.
No one had. Okay. Do they and what kind of conversations? Because they sure made it seem like Kendall, Nicole, and Hideaway were.
They
In
made
the
it seem like the
Hideaway.
grocery store was open.
She said she had all 5 courses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they were hungry. I don't know about that one. I didn't attend that dining experience. So I let Nicole open up her grand opening stories for everyone.
Who's the best cook in the villa?
Oh, Connor, he made the best blueberry pancake. But then Janae is like, she can just make anything.
3 types of eggs.
Oh yeah, she had 3 types of eggs. I forgot about
The
that.
was it scrambled?
Not the egg
Yeah.
saga.
I forgot.
What were you guys thinking? Were you like yes or no?
I was like, that's too many eggs. You're trying way too hard. Like,
His cholesterol is
yeah,
not prepared.
yeah, like not.
Just wait till he's done chatting.
Yeah.
Then give the egg.
When it was happening, I thought this guy is way too used to have women making 3 different types of eggs. This is not going to stand out. Yeah, well, like this. That was right when Miguel came in.
Yeah.
Here he was, is kind of giving like, fuck boy, used to have women fawning over him. It was funny. I loved it. It really.
Yeah, it was comedy for sure. It caused a little bit of like, don't bring eggs. He was hungry. It was a bit of a drama.
What's next for you, Liv?
I am going to go to LA and see everyone. I feel like when you live with them and wake up every morning, being back home, I'm like, where are all these whack, crazy nut jobs that I sleep with? Where are they? So I'll definitely go see them. And then I don't know what's next. I've been so grateful for like the opportunity that's come from this. Hopefully find love. But I definitely looking at like the next couple of weeks, I'm definitely going to catch up with everyone. We want to go to Epcot and do drinking around the well. Like that's been a
Yes.
thing.
We have some people who are very
Resident
could be
Disney.
a tour guide.
Oh my God, come.
Don't
Go.
don't tempt me with a good time.
Well, when you come to LA, Liv, look us up. We'd love to meet you in person.
100%. I'd love to meet you guys.
Well, thank you for your time. This has been so much fun. Best of luck with everything in the future. Thank you for being excellent television. You are an absolute joy to watch. And just, because you are part of this original cast that I think has exploded Love Island, thank you for your service. You guys made this show amazing. You really did. Like, no show is a show without its stars, and you guys have been amazing stars, and it's been so fun to watch you guys. So thank you.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. Thank you.
All right, Liv. Thanks so much. We appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. What a sweetheart.
Absolutely.
A little surprising about the Leah and Miguel.
Yeah,
like,
they
why
really
are we
don't show their like emotional connection.
They don't,
Like,
there's no like moving it forward, talking about the future. Like they really seem like they've agreed to couple up because they're both hot and they don't annoy each other.
Maybe it's one of those things where they're so unproblematic that there's nothing to film.
I was
or like
thinking,
to air, which is what she's
Love
alluding
is
to.
Blind. Remember the one couple that we were like, we don't care, and would like fast forward because they were so healthy.
The birth control one.
Yeah.
Johnny
but we care about Leah.
Yeah.
She's a star. And even Miguel, like, we love him. And we're like hot privilege. They're both hot. And we like it when hot people like each other.
Hey, James Kennedy.
It's true. James Kennedy sometimes.
Hot people just like picking out hot people.
They do.
Having sex with hot people.
Sorry.
And other people like watching it.
Oh, that is true.
Am I wrong?
No, you're right. I will say, and
that's why we want Leah and Rob to get back together.
Yeah.
It's not because of their undenying connection and chemistry. It's because they like how they
they're
look together.
star-crossed lovers.
Oh my God.
Of the Montagues and Capulets.
I also have to say that I feel like, and this is like incredibly toxic of me to say, but when everyone's happy, I'm bored.
Yeah, but like Miguel,
I
there's so much. First of all, Miguel lives in England. Right? Our problem number one. If they're going to have any real conversation about the future, how are they going to solve that problem? Leah, wonderful, has been open about her toxic, insecure ways. Miguel, very confident man. Like, this is low-hanging fruit for producers. Like, if we wanted to stir up a little drama between these two and push their relationship and test the relationship, that shouldn't be that hard.
We have a new bombshell coming in.
I don't think that I think that they're going to bring in this bombshell so that Leah and Rob will get back together.
Honestly, probably, yeah.
That's what the people want.
Why aren't we happy with Cardell and Serena? Why are we trying to throw off?
They're
just gonna win. Yeah.
That's why they're not trying to mess with them, because they can't. They're like solid and done.
And so, because this is my first time watching Love Island, there's the winners, and then there's like, but just because you don't win doesn't mean you can't leave as a couple.
No, not
there's
at
still
all.
couples that are still together that didn't win.
Yeah.
Molly May and Tommy came in second place, and they're together with a kid.
And then whoever won just
for sure broke up that season. I don't even know who it was, though.
Who
won that season with Molly May? Oh, was it the one that guy came in at like he was the last bombshell?
I know that was Maura's season, but I don't know who won.
Like, are you telling me are we gonna get a perfect match ending, or it's just like
no, people will stay together.
Oh yeah, no, I still follow couples from past seasons.
A lot of people stay together, whether they win or not.
Because it's not going to be Kayla and Aaron.
It's absolutely not.
No.
They might be like top 3.
I honestly think they might stay together.
Kayla
I don't
and
think
Aaron?
so.
I do. I think they might.
Absolutely.
Oh, I think at first they absolutely will try. And I think Kayla will give him every opportunity and then some.
That's why I think they'll
and
stay
then
together.
some, and then some, and then some. But at some point.
It's going to be like Instagram and doing that whole thing. And then
It'll be
once
messy.
that gets old, he's going to break up with her and be like, oh gosh, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But I wish her the best.
To answer your question, it was Amber and Greg.
Yeah, Amber. And Greg was the last
Amber.
bombshell. Greg came in at like
I don't remember Greg.
the last, because he came in at the last minute,
And then they won.
They won because people loved Amber. So
That is giving
I did
perfect
love
match.
Amber.
Yeah.
yeah,
All
but
right.
Molly May and Tommy, they have a kid, Tommy Fury.
Yeah. And he's the only person to beat Logan Paul. Jake Paul? Which
One of them. Yeah, but I love them. They're like one of the most loved couples from this franchise.
Oh, I love Molly May.
Yeah.
I love following her. and her interior design. Anyways.
Anyway, it's time to go. We'll be back on Thursday for another episode of Reality Recap. We got parts of the Jonas Brothers. We got Kevin and Frankie. They're also Bachelor fans. They'll be with us to talk a little Bachelorette and then some. Plus, talking about their show, Claim to Fame. That and much, much more. We'll probably maybe have some Love Island people on. Either way, lots to get into this Thursday. Reality Recap. Don't forget to check out Jess Vestal's episode of Going Deeper that dropped last week, Wednesday. If you haven't listened to it, and you need to listen to it. It's really, really good. Ask Nick episode. If you love other people's relationship stories and you love giving, or just you're going through a heartbreak, or maybe you're sad, maybe you're not sure how to get over that fuckboy, maybe you have some family problems, maybe that much, maybe some of that stuff is happening and more. Well, Ask Nick will help save your life, I promise you. Or you'll just be entertained. Either way, it's worth a listen. It's available now. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.